The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan.
Shall we play a game?
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan. This is your host, who's still slightly sick, Cameron.
Caleb, not sick.
Joe, getting sick.
Caleb Craig, not sick at all.
Maybe we shouldn't have made out in the back room. Might not been good for your health, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. I wished he didn't say that in public.
Two men you've kissed now, Joe? Is that? And I'm the one you
Just
think is
two?
a closet gay?
Wait, what was the other one I told you about?
wait, yeah, that story.
Which one?
Oh, man. So today's episode, we had little controversy beforehand, but we're going to review Middle of Earth, Shadow of War. We might get in a little bit into why there's some controversy as to whether or not certain individuals beat this game.
Just a 58-minute late controversy. 58-minute controversy that made the episode be postponed. That long.
Well, we needed to clear the air a little bit, just find
We
out.
didn't clear shit, though.
I
That's
know.
the problem.
So I guess we can ask our viewers to, I don't know, give their opinion that we'll probably just ignore anyway.
It's true, yeah.
I will certainly ignore it.
You only don't ignore it when it suits you.
But we'll probably get into that. But what has everyone been playing this week?
I played nothing but Max Payne, the first game. It's pretty sweet. I was surprised. I expected it to be kind of shitty.
When was it released?
It was like 2004 or something.
How does it hold up?
Well, it looks decent on computer, and it's the only thing that I did comment, and I said on Twitter, I said that there's like dream sequences, and you have to like follow this like trail of blood on the floor, and those are bounty hunter painful. Like you have to stay on this tiny little tendril of blood, and it's just atrocious, dude. I fucking hate it. But other than that, the game is
Are the
great.
controls locked inverted?
No, they're not. They're not.
That might
locked
be just
inverted.
a console Max Payne thing. If I'm thinking of the correct Max Payne.
The first one?
Probably. I just remember as a kid, try to play it on the
I think the
original
first one's
Xbox.
called Maximum Pain.
Yeah.
Maximum Pain?
Yeah, then the next one, they shortened it just to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to
So-
get corrections on Twitter.
Yeah. It was just Max Payne, Joe. Like, thank you.
Shit.
All right. So that's all
Hey,
you played?
guys, here's a new thing. That just reminded me. First off, if you're going to do corrections, please do them in the forum and not on Twitter. Second off, if you're going to do it on Twitter, you have 24 hours after this episode is released to correct me on Twitter. That's it. After the 24-hour period is up, I cannot get any more tweets correcting me about the same goddamn thing over and over again for the rest of the week.
Keep doing
You have 24 hours after the episode is released. If you think, I wonder if someone corrected him, and you listen to the episode on Thursday, someone did. Someone
Or-
corrected me.
Or better yet, call into our number and leave a really heated message
That'll work.
so we can play it on air.
That'll
That'd be
work.
great.
That way I don't get like a ping in my pocket. And of course, I'm addicted to my cell phone, so I have to pull it out and look at it.
Oh, no time
It's
to
the
play video
same-
games, but
and it's
time
the
to be on
same
that phone all
goddamn-
the time.
It's not Jack Reacher. It's Jack Ryan, moron.
Go fucking kill yourself.
It's like I had 7 tweets about that.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't care. Like, I've seen...
If you knew what we were talking about, you knew it. And I think it's a perfectly viable accidental mistake. Jack Ryan versus Jack Reacher. I know what the difference is, but if you're just talking, sometimes you might slip and say one or the other.
Yes,
And you know
that's,
what? You know what the
for
purpose of
degenerate.
language is to convey a message. And if you knew we were talking about Jack Ryan, we completed. We used language to our benefit. We gave an idea from our minds and put it into yours.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
So
Oh,
you
wow.
guys get
It's
you guys
fine.
get 24 hours to correct me. That's it.
But no one listens. Not
Or-
everybody listens to it on Monday.
Or you go to the forum, and that can be a permanent place. And if someone else put the correction in the forum, there you go.
You know, the funny thing is, I've never seen Jack Reacher.
Oh, really?
It was okay.
Yeah, the first
I
one's
haven't
right.
either.
Jack Ryan's definitely better.
Yeah, but it's a character. versus a
Depends on the
movie.
movie. I could have lived without the Ben Affleck one.
The
Clear and Present Danger.
Clear and Present Danger,
Yeah.
which is an awesome book, by the way. I love that.
Not a
book.
great movie.
But the movie, you're right.
The movie is
Did
a
you ever
mess.
read Westworld, Joe?
No.
Okay, because it's a Michael Crichton book.
No, it's not a Michael Crichton book.
I think it is.
It's not.
One of the Crichtons wrote it.
The
screenplay,
He had to
at
do
least.
with the movie. Yeah,
Okay.
not the.
Oh, so it's just a movie?
yeah. it's a
And the
movie.
book is based on the movie?
I don't think there is a book.
There is. I swear to God, there's a book. But you know
Okay,
what? I was
fine.
watching Westworld, and I was like, this is basically... I was like, this is Jurassic Park. And then I looked at it, and I saw the credits, and I was like, okay, there's a Crichton in here.
All
so
right,
it
I'm
is
looking
Jurassic
it up
Park.
before someone freaking corrects me.
Yeah, before someone corrects you on my mistake.
Yeah,
It's a great show. You should watch it.
I want to. It
You
just-
should watch Game of Thrones so that we can talk
There's so
about
many
it.
things I should watch. Right now, I'm in Mindhunter. So
You're watching that over Game of Thrones.
at the moment, yes.
What the fuck?
But I have an HBO subscription right now.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, why are you watching? Why are you not watching Game of Thrones then? What the
I don't
fuck?
have freaking time right
What
now.
is the why?
And
have
I
HBO?
started Mindhunter
Mindhunter is on fucking
on a whim.
Netflix.
I started Mindhunter on a whim on a day when I did not have access to HBO.
Yeah, it's greatly directed,
And then
isn't it?
I said, I'm going to finish this. And right now I'm about halfway through it. So I am, that's how my stuff is going, dude. I have not had time for Jack.
What about
Except for
jacking?
some jacking. I've had a little bit of time for that. I make room. I make room in my schedule.
Clear that schedule for old Sasha. Gotta
about-
make time for the woman.
Well, it's
have about
not,
10
not like
minutes
you have to
between
make
stops.
much time for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
so.
it's just between
Well,
stops.
no one wants to touch their or hold their dick for that long, Caleb. That's my theory. It's like you just want to get it done, you know.
Well, I mean, he's got
You
the
don't wanna be
novelty
gay.
vagina. He's not actually touching
don't
his own
have
the
the
thing.
thing
novelty
is
vagina.
like the thing is it's I imagine sometimes, and this is really weird, but I imagine like a candy cane when I'm beating off, and I'm just gonna like whittle my dick away with like my dry hands, and I'm gonna like beat it to where it's just this point, you know, it's all sharp, yeah,
I'm gonna stab somebody with this one day.
yeah, it's gonna come out bloody, but
Oh, man. So now we know about Schweiss's candy cane fetish.
yeah, there you go, yeah, I take that mint.
He does have the,
Build
does
a
have
gingerbread house.
the Technicolor cock, so...
Yeah, how many like how many of these little after dinner mints can we stuff up in there?
Oh, man.
You know, those like sweets ones.
You guys are disgusting.
I love those
No,
things.
disgusting.
So Joe, you haven't played anything this week, have you?
Based on a 1973 film of the same name.
Okay, it is just
Written
a
and
movie.
directed by Michael Crichton.
Okay, so it's just a movie, and they might have made
just
a
a
book.
movie.
Okay, I just saw Michael Crichton, and I saw the movie, and
I
I
would
was
have
like,
remembered
"Oh,
if
this is
there was a
probably
Westworld
book."
because I was always like, someday I'll read that Michael Crichton book.
Yeah,
So
it's it's very similar. And then I
Very
saw
similar.
Crichton in the credits, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's why." It's because the man only knows one thing. All right, theme park, and it goes wrong.
no, here's what happens. He'll with Michael Crichton, he'd pick some sort of near future in his mind concept in real science, and then he would make a thriller based upon what would happen if that went wrong.
No. He would do that, and then he would make it into a theme park,
Just to
and
make it
then he would
so...
make a thriller.
Just to make it so we can't feel comfortable doing anything normal day in our lives.
Well, there's a
day
book
things.
called Prey that's about nanotechnology,
Which
Is it a
was,
theme
yeah.
park though?
and then there's ones about I think Andromeda strain is about like disease and spreading.
Are they- is it a disease
The Prey
theme park,
book was
though?
good.
It's not a theme
Disease
park thing.
museum
Yeah, it happens in a museum. Yeah.
So
with a roller coaster.
well, Lost World is like a nature reserve. It's not a theme park.
Animatronics of people dying to
So.
diseases.
yeah.
That is true.
I always like Michael Ryan. I like the way he writes. It's very fun to read his books. Never watched his movie, though. And someday I'll watch that TV show. But today is not that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't play anything?
No one asked
I think
me.
that was, yeah, we did.
Schweiss literally
did.
just asked you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of something else.
If you're not playing video games and
No.
you're watching these other things.
No, I'm looking at the Octonauts toy back there, and it says Gup, you, and Quasi, and I was just trying to figure out what that was saying.
The Gup U is the ship.
You know what,
One
Gup,
of the
you too.
ships.
All right.
Quasi is one of the demons.
No, I
The
didn't play
Guap U-boat?
anything because I had a similar week to
Wait,
last
how do you
week.
know that?
Just didn't have
He's dead.
didn't have time that I had
Papa
about
Schweiss.
shut up. I had about 2 to 3 hours maybe per day before I would go to sleep in between work and getting home. That really just turned into 2 hours to an hour plus. If I decided to watch a movie, it would go into my sleep time. So Schweiss somehow is having a schedule probably slightly more hectic than mine if he works out 77 hours this week.
Well, it depends on when you count this week. If you count it as like since the last time we spoke, then yes.
Okay, yeah. I
But
would
the
count
problem
that.
is I worked last night. I haven't had my day off until today, and last week I worked right after we recorded.
All right. Well,
So it's a little
77 hours.
Yeah.
So you worked that, and you decided not to sleep. That's the difference between you and me. You got some game time because you decided that sleep was not a priority. And to me, sleep is a priority.
Well, I didn't decide.
Try to
it.
get at least 6 hours in.
I 2 nights ago I slept for 2.5 hours, and the night before that I slept for 4. Now the night before that I tried to go to sleep, but I couldn't. And then the night after that I just had a bunch of stuff I had to do. Oh no, I had to go take my car in to get the oil changed, and then I got a Sam's Club card, and I took forever. It was just a really long day, and I didn't get to bed till I think it was 11, and then I woke up at 3. And then
If I don't get my sleep, I feel like I'm going to be sick.
the sick part though, Cameron, is that I worked 12 hours, right? And then I went to sleep. Or no, I didn't go to sleep. I was supposed to go to sleep, but I couldn't. And then I stayed awake, and I did all my shit in the morning, and then I slept for 2.5 hours, and then I worked for another 12 hours after 2.5, and then I went to sleep finally.
Did you do the old 5-hour energy in a monster trick?
No, I did the 3 Monsters, 4 Diet Coke trick.
Sit on the toilet trick for an hour and a half.
Double gulp full of
I haven't
5-hour
done
energy.
anything like that since the Bounty Hunter review.
I carved the fuck out of that day too. I had so many donuts and it was
Bro.
awesome.
Oh, God.
Carb load, bro.
Yeah. Do you even carb?
You're just building up for the epic crash at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
bad.
man.
Every time I sat down, I was just
I got
just powered
5
down.
hours of sleep last night, and I feel sick right now.
Yeah.
Well, I am sick, but, in addition to that.
So, what about you, Craig? What have you been playing?
I played Dragon Quest IV a little bit. I played some Mario Kart, and I played it's Super Mario Land, 3D Land, and then Shadow of War.
Super Mario 3D Land. Is that
Yeah.
the new one?
It's a newer one. It's for the Wii U.
Oh, okay. So it's not the. Oh, that's Odyssey.
Yeah, the new one is Odyssey.
Got
Is
it.
it in?
People are nominating that for best for game of the year. In
Yeah,
our
it's because
forum.
it's the only fucking game that was released for the Wii.
Well,
one of the
Zelda was too.
one of the 4 games released on the fucking Nintendo console.
No, it's only
so
got
of course,
2. It's
of
only-
course, it has to be the greatest
It's
game
only
of all
got
time.
2.
It's the
Let's
greatest.
Be clear right now.
That's because you bought it and you finally justified your fucking purchase.
What?
That's why. No, that's what I'm saying. Why people call it Game of the Year? I'm just being a dick.
Oh.
I haven't played it, so I can't actually.
I
say
feel like it's
anything.
more of a situation where it's Nintendo is like Pixar. Whatever they fucking do, it's just the best immediately.
unless it's Brave.
Unless it's great.
That is the worst one, probably.
Or I saw the reviews for Cars 3, although I got to tell you, I didn't love Cars 1, so I didn't watch the other 2. So,
Cars 2 is not very good. I don't think.
so unless it's Brave or Cars,
Yeah, I didn't watch the
2
other
or
2
3.
cars either.
There you
Just
go.
kind of stopped at the first
It's
one.
like,
but Brave I did watch, and I was not satisfied.
Well, yeah, there's better movies surrounding it for sure.
Yeah.
Like both the one before and the one after were a lot better.
Yeah, but I'm specifically referring to the lie that I can't get over, which is Big Hero 6 beating Princess Kaguya for Best Animated Picture.
I agree.
Dude, that still fucking hurts, man.
I don't think it hurts.
Sao
but-
Takahata deserves fucking recognition, and he's like, just gets
He got
nominated.
That's recognition.
Being nominated isn't nearly enough. That movie was significantly better than any other animated film and could have easily contended for Best Picture.
Wait, what year was that?
2014.
What was Best Picture
I
then?
have no idea.
Was that
I'd have to look at
Godzilla?
it.
That was the same year as...
That was the same year as Godzilla, yeah.
was that the Gravity year, or was that 2015?
2013 was Gravity, I think.
Oh. 2014 was probably the year I didn't watch movies.
2012 was... Oh, shit. Dude, I don't remember.
2014 Best Picture, 12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave. All right.
Of course.
I can live with that.
Of course.
I can live with that. That's
I
good.
still think Kaguya could have contended.
I don't think it would have won against 12 Years a Slave.
I don't think no, probably not.
I think
but
it's
still.
probably better than that movie, but I still like it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're both kind of great movies in my mind. I don't know. I just like to watch them all. I don't know if I'm up for the sports aspect of it anymore.
Sports aspect.
Yeah.
Was it?
Where you're like, this should win, this should lose. And it's
Thank
just
you
like, oh, they're all
for
pretty
hosting.
good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, I get shit on for saying stuff like Room is the second to worst Best Picture nominee of that year, but I still gave it
Because you're insane.
4.5
Dude,
stars.
Room is great.
I think Room is better than Spotlight.
No, it isn't. No fucking way.
I liked them both. I watched them on the same day.
The two that didn't belong are Room and fucking...
Dude, okay, that is
Brooklyn.
hard.
Brooklyn,
Spotlight
yeah.
and Room are just both really
Spotlight is a
good.
much better movie.
I really like
It's a
Spotlight.
half a star better. That's 10%.
I really like Spotlight, but Room is really
I think
good.
Black Mass was better. And
Black
I also
Mass is
think-
really good.
I think Black Mass did miss out. I think
was awesome.
Brooklyn could have been put to the side. It was a good movie, but I don't think it deserved a Best Picture nom.
Well,
And I
would've
think
never
they could have
voted
put
for it.
Black Mass in there instead of Brooklyn.
Yeah, I agree
Black
with
Mass
that
I
one.
felt was like shortchanged.
I went into Black Mass
and
was
Johnny
astounded.
Depp didn't get a nomination, which is just like insane.
Yeah,
to
His
me.
performance was amazing.
I know.
Yeah, he shaved his head.
I was scared of him. Those
Yeah, he
light
was
blue
like,
eyes,
He's gonna fuck you.
those light blue eyes of death and coldness.
I dug that movie. Whatever, fine, whatever. Academy. Anyway, what have you been playing there,
So this week,
Guy whose name I know.
Cameron?
Cameron, I played Overwatch at the beginning of this week. Played it a few times. It's a lot of fun. Been playing some Fortnite as well. They released a new game mode where it's 50v50.
Oh yeah, I was going to tell you about that. Like,
Yeah,
a week
you
ago.
should hop on. It's a lot of fun. So if you don't know what Fortnite is, it's a cartoonish battle royale system where you all parachute in and then try to be the last one standing as your zone shrinks continuously.
No. What it really is the dollar store version of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
PUBG. That's what a lot of people
Well,
like to think, but it brings different
It
elements.
has a different storyline because like it's supposed to be.
Storyline.
Well, it's a zombie survival game
that
that
you
they,
have to
like,
pay in order to
made-
get into that part
Wow,
of the game.
that
Well,
sounds
they're-
really original. I have
But-
never seen another
where
open world
it's like
survival
where you
zombie.
build forts and stuff though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just like
That's
Rust.
why it's called Fortnite.
So this one's a
like,
cart-
It's basically
I-
like Rust, but
So this is a cartoonish version of Rust and PlayerUnknown's
Can
Battleground.
you have your dick out?
No.
unfortunately, no.
No.
I'm not going to get it.
It's still a lot of fun.
free.
You can while you're playing it.
It's still a lot
Yeah,
of fun
that's
because
true.
on the console you're not
You
going
have to
get
ask, though.
you're not going to get
Sure you
PlayerUnknown's Battleground for a long time. I don't even know if PlayStation's going to get it anymore.
Yeah.
If it does, it might be well into the
Well,
future.
that's why I joke that it's the dollar
Yeah.
store one because it's like the
It's still
moment
fun, though.
a big Godzilla or something, some giant monster movie comes out. They always have like the shitty one at Walmart, like that. Ooh.
Well, it's not even from the dollar store.
Transmorphers.
Yeah, Transmorphers, shit like that. Like that's what this is.
Atlantic Rim.
Yeah,
Netflix
You're like,
is
wait a
equally
minute.
bad for that. Like you'll see like Frozen came out, and then there was like a and then I saw a movie
The
on there
Ice
that was like
Princess.
the Ice Princess, and I was like, what the fuck? And
I bet you that
there's-
one's probably more accurate, but not
and
as
then,
good.
like Kung Fu Panda, and then there's another one on there that's like it's something else, martial arts panda or some shit. I can't remember what it was.
Karate.
And these aren't even spoofs; they're like serious, different takes on it.
No, like
No.
they're just trying to capitalize.
I think Frozen
on
Princess
the big movie.
may have been, but it was also totally capitalizing on the big
But
movie.
anyways, Fortnite.
Hoping you'll fuck up
Fortnite
and
is
watch
is
it.
not even from the dollar store because it's free to play.
There
Don't
you
even have
go.
to spend $1 on it to get in. So it's actually a lot of fun. So hopefully sometime the clan will be on there in squads. Because you can play it in squads, you can play it in duos where it's 2 of you versus the world, or just solo. But the new game mode is you have 50 of the people on your team and you're fighting the other 50 people.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess the important question now is: has anyone
Well,
beaten?
that's not all my games.
Oh, you mean you played more than that?
I played more than
You had
that.
time?
Yeah, because I have a normal 9 to 5.
Oh, okay.
And then I also played the beta to the new Monster Hunter.
You don't work at 9.
How
No,
is that?
9 to 5 is just a thing to say where you work normal hours. I work 7 to 3:30.
There you go.
There you go.
How is that? Monster
It's fun.
Hunter?
The beta, it only lets you do 3 different missions, but it lets you do the multiplayer where you can actually play with a couple of other people.
Oh,
And
nice.
then do the same 3 missions.
I'm sure the game is
it-
going to be like 1,000 hours long.
Does it let
I
you?
hope so.
Is it like the other Monster Hunters where you like choose your class?
So far, it feels very Monster Huntish in like the theme, but just like the sound that has the Monster Hunter has a really like that is the sound that Monster Hunter makes, the theme music and stuff.
Right.
And when you get into it, it has it definitely looks like a Monster Hunter world with the Monster Hunter-esque weapons. And I feel like they're leaving kind of the specializations behind to where you're not going to really... You can basically be anything you want to be at any time. You can keep switching back and forth.
I did read before that they were trying to make this one more of an RPG and
Yes.
less of like a super grind fest.
Yes,
like the
it's
other
definitely
ones
more
were.
RPG.
Okay,
Yeah, so far.
you can feel it already in the beta.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I kind of wanted a Monster Hunter MMO, though.
We got like a month till that comes out. Game.
Oh, I know.
I did want to
I
play
know.
it when I saw it, but I don't really want to
It's
now.
it seems like it's fun.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Because he's
Join
working
us
too much.
for the monster hunting, bitch.
Join us.
So Monster Hunter, if you don't know, it's a great game to where you hunt monsters and make things out of their carcasses. It's great.
Yeah, I've seen.
And you have a
thousands.
little cat companion. I named mine Captain Kit Kat. It's
Captain
great.
Kit Kat.
I
Anyways.
hated cat companions. Told you to go to bed.
Oh. See, Captain Kit Kat doesn't tell me what to do, but he has a little raft when the water gets too deep that he starts paddling around and then starts fighting the monsters from his little paddle raft.
Nice.
Anyways, yeah, that's what I've played.
All right. Has anybody beaten a game? Nope.
Yep.
No.
No.
Oh, well, I beat Shadow of War, Mario Kart, and
Oh, wait.
Mario
Super Mario
Kart?
3D Land.
Come on, you.
So-
Cam
fuck.
did technically beat Mario Kart as well.
I know. I did beat the 50cc, though. Should I beat the 150cc
No.
first?
Did you just beat the thing?
Yeah, you just beat Mario Kart. The different CCs are basically the difficulty
There's
level.
no way I can
It took
beat you,
me
Caleb.
20 minutes to play through all of that.
I told you that, Schweiss. I literally have been telling you that.
Well, you also said you were going to work on RPGs, you fucking liar.
A lot of my games are
Oh,
RPGs.
a lot? That means more than half at least. I would say
That
a
is
lot implies
more-
at least 2/3.
Is that what that means,
No,
Schweiss?
that
A
doesn't
lot
imply
of my
anything.
games.
That doesn't imply anything. I totally disagree
Oh,
with
so
you.
it's keeping up.
It didn't say most.
what that
If he
is?
says a lot, I would say a lot of those are RPGs.
Let me see. It's
definitely more than
Let me
three.
look at this list.
More than 3, he has 50 almost.
Well,
see,
2 is a
1.
couple, 3 is a few. What's more than a few?
A crowd.
A lot.
You know, a lot is actually like...
A lot.
5, 6, 7.
This is the Caleb Craig Count podcast.
Can he do it?
9,
Oh, shit, I lost my spot.
10, 11,
16.
12, 13, 14.
11, 9, 6. Did you lose it?
He was at 15.
No, he wasn't.
16.
He was at 6.
17. 18. 19. 20. 21, and that's 21 games. 21 of my 46 or 7 games.
Whoa, you can't say the number yet.
I
Okay.
did say that at least 2/3.
And that's about half, Schweiss.
Almost.
Or
Not
close.
2/3.
It's not quite.
All right, fuck you. It's fine.
All right. So, King Hog,
Fucking dick.
He's beat more RPGs than games. I've beat
47 games beaten this year.
Did work at
Only-
RPGs.
Only 5 away from 52.
Are you going to do
True.
it?
Yeah.
Fuck
I'm
you.
totally going to do it.
God.
Dude, the last week of December,
A game
I
a
have
week.
off work.
Oh, yeah, your full-time
Okay.
job.
So
I do too.
they're giving me it off for holidays, man. So yeah.
I'm basically going to leave.
That's why I'm working so much fucking overtime right now.
are you, Craig?
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm
Yeah.
basically going to have a day off next week, and then I'm leaving in the middle of week work. I'm leaving in the middle of week next week, and not come back till the year's over.
You should.
You actually took your vacation time?
Half of it.
Damn it, dude. I would be like, could you just pay me for all that, please?
They said they would do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you already asked for that.
yeah.
Okay. King Hog, 47 games beaten. Caleb Craig. Second place, like a loser, 42 games beaten. Caleb Schweiss. Third place, Cameron Wilson at 18 games beaten. Cameron, I think you did 17 games last year. Yeah? Yeah, so you already beat last year.
I already beat last year.
And then I am at 14 games, and I did not beat my last year, and I don't think I will. So
Didn't you have 17 last year as well?
I did, yeah.
You guys tied.
Cameron tied last year. So that is our hog, and we have audience hog, don't we?
We do. We have
do.
the super hug.
Yeah, it's not ready, but yeah, we have it.
Okay.
All right, so before we get into the review, we do have hog updates. We were supposed to do this last week, but I didn't realize it was quite that time. So let's dive right into it. For the Super Hog, the leaderboard is as follows. In last place, someone has to be there. True Hoax with 90 points. Gary
90 points.
with
90 points? I think you got something messed up there.
Okay, sorry, just kidding. Gary's in last place with 67. True
Off to a
Hoax,
strong
I'm sorry
start.
that I fucked you just now. Unless, of
We're
course,
all
you,
sorry, too.
Yeah. Oh, of course you enjoyed it. You're in second to last with 90. Troy Kavanaugh, 119. Espen, 170. Irat,
Oh,
182.
Espen, that's my roommate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow, he's a loser.
Hail Blue. Yeah, he needs to do some more stuff. Hail Blue, 209.
Thanks for listening.
Maybe that's
Alex
not my
06, 211. Kingzilla, 215. Danny, 83222, 262. Cameron, 270. The hosts, of course, are the worst at getting their hog in. Rishab, 296. 25th place, Connor with 374. Frank Flores, 404. Joe, 411. Krenitol, 422. Abrak, 465. Matunica, 458. Corey Bonsack, 472. Seventh Circle, 489.
What are you laughing at?
The Scott Spot, 505. Immortal, 142, 522. Alexandria, 539. I am at 571. Ryan Fisher, 600. Jared Helton, 610. Jesus Christ. Fuck! Just kidding.
Just kidding, Ryan
Just
Fisher.
kidding. Ryan Fisher has 680. Felicia Nomiko, 796.
Oh,
Dylan,
top 10 right now.
Dylan Rominger, 9th place with 816. Simon Parker, 8th place with 1,037. Lycan of Light hasn't updated in a while. 7th place, 1106. Disa Oakland, 1174. These are getting ridiculous. Mike Mribe,
That sounds new.
1338. He hasn't updated for a while, but
Okay.
Caleb Craig, 1399. Jacob Wright, 3rd place, 1442. 2nd place, Skolati, 1593, and still in 1st place.
Skull, watch like 15 movies.
Chase versus Game with 1,621.
Congratulations, Chase. One more month,
Yeah, one more
and
month.
we'll be giving away the trophies. So get your hog in by by January 1st.
The sick part is that this next one is wrong for Jake, at least. Nude Clan Hog leaderboard. My girlfriend, 0 games beaten. Hale Blue and Gary tied for true last place with 2. Jared Helton, Krinatal, Quetzalcoatl, and Reshab tied for 32nd with 4. A 2-way tie between Irat and Connor for 5 games at 30th. 29th place, Espen with 6. Felicia Nomiko, Kingzilla, and Troy Kavanaugh, 26th place with 8. A 4-way tie between Alex 06, Corey, Denny 8322, and R. Lennon for 9 games. A 2-way tie with Scott Spot and Matunica at 12. 2-way between Joe and Disa with 13. Cameron has 15. Actually, has more than that now.
I have more than that now.
Just Seventh Circle 16. True Hoax 18. You got to put it in or it doesn't count. Immortal 142 21. Hale Blue 24. Chase versus Game 29. Lycan of Light
29 games.
29.
Guys, just think about the amount of games these people have beaten.
Yeah.
It's just it's something to marvel.
Frank
It
Flores
is.
and Dylan Rominger at 30. 8th place, Skull Hottie with 35. Abrac 7th with 36. I am in 6th with 38.
Wow. Out of all the listeners who give
You have
in
more than
to
that,
your
Schweiss.
sixth
I do
place.
now, yeah, but I haven't updated my honk, so it doesn't count if you don't update. Simon Parker, 39. Caleb Craig, 40. Ryan Fisher, 60. Mike Rebe, 74. Jake, still at 87, but he's actually, I think he's at 102 right now.
Oh my god! All right, well, Mike is in first place. Jacob doesn't count, but Mike, think about what Jacob is doing. What are you going to do here, Mike? You
Yeah.
can't just like...
You
That's all right. Jacob doesn't count, and he doesn't have a live.
You
so.
can't let Jake beat you at anything. You just, how do you...
Is he
compare
better?
that?
Well,
No,
Jake,
it's
not.
maybe Jake needs to have something, you know?
Maybe we should crown Jake King Hog. Yeah.
No.
Nope. It
He
doesn't
doesn't-
count.
he
He's
doesn't
in the
count.
network.
So,
Jake,
yeah.
you always count in my heart.
I have
You always
I have a really funny story from the
Don't oversell it.
the post office, an enjoyable story.
Enjoyable.
So
story.
what we do, basically everything is like color coded and really simple, so that you can basically so a monkey could do your job, or a man who is
Or
11,
a guy who works at a post
yeah,
office.
or a guy who works 12 hours a day and is exhausted and completely destroyed can finish the job effectively. So we have we have placards that we put on the boxes that collect packages, and we run them from the machines, right? And they're color coded. And they go to certain facilities so that they can be distributed out to the rest of the country, so that the mail gets to where it needs to be, right?
Right.
So we have like the color
There was
coded,
like little aliens inside your mail distributor thing, or is that just Men in Black 3?
yeah, just the movie, just the movie. So the placards are color coded, and the other day or yesterday, I was working and like I was pulling one away, and it was a pink placard, but someone had wrote blue on it, and I was like moving it, and I like started chuckling to myself, and I leaned over to the guy next to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I identify as a blue placard." And then I like move it over there, and then I grab a couple white ones, and I said I was like, "All right, so the white ones are color fluid, are color fluid placards," and then I found some pink ones, dude, and I just started busting out laughing, and I was like, you got to be careful. You got to be careful with the ones that claim to be pink. Make sure they're not just cut up blue ones turned inside out. And I laughed for like 20 minutes at that.
I think the sleep deprivation's getting to him.
Oh, you don't think that's awesome? That's the fucking the surgery where you turn your dick inside out to a vagina.
Thanks for
It
explaining
was
it.
fucking classic. I laughed at that. I laughed at my own joke for like an hour last night. I was like, that's too good.
I can sympathize.
How many other people were laughing with you?
The one guy that I told was laughing pretty hard at it. He thought it was pretty good. It took him a minute
How
to
many
get
hours of sleep did he have?
I don't know. Probably more than me though. But yeah, it was great though. And then I was telling you guys about this Asian lady. She's the one who does like she always like writes on the like you don't have enough postage and shit like that. So she's the one responsible for taping all my fucking packages together. But the other day I was holding we take stuff that doesn't get processed and we like put it in a bin. And like I had my little bin of items that didn't go through all the way, and like one of them, she grabbed it out of the bin and she's like, "You see this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she just like sat there for like 5 seconds, and And she's like, it's fine. And then she like put it on the belt and like sent it through. And I was like, whoa. And she works in the, what we call it, like the cage. And then I always joke about like like it's the cage of like fighting, and she's gonna like send all of the people that fuck up into the cage. It's like, now you fight. You fight to death, win or live.
Oh, wow. Wow. Is that how she talks?
Yeah, that is kind of how she talks, yeah. And then like she comes in afterwards and just like executes whoever's left alive. She's like, no one win, all die. But this is what happens though. I swear to God, like the longer I work during a day, like the more weird shit I come up with. Like there's a deaf guy that I work with.
Oh no!
And I don't know his name. I would ask, but you know, it wouldn't really work. But like I thought about it the other day, and I was like,
Schweiss.
we were talking, me and this
Careful.
dude, and we were like, how funny would it be if like we just saw like the deaf guy just like strangling somebody, because he gets like really mad sometimes and just starts like yelling and like his deaf speech, so like you're kind of freaking out because you don't know what the fuck he's saying, you know, and he's just like. He has to point and gesture a lot, and shit like that. So one of these days, I just want to see him down there, just like screaming, just like choking somebody out with like a rope or some shit.
Oh man!
Like a tear is coming into his eye, like he loved whoever it was, but he just has to kill him off. Oh man, it's crazy. It gets nuts in there. Mostly in my head, but
I feel like this was a good switch of jobs for Schweiss. He seems to be having much more fun every day.
yeah.
With 2 hours of sleep, yeah, you would be too.
Yeah,
Not
dude.
agree. I don't get happier. I get like sadder and more pissed off when I don't have sleep.
Oh, I was pretty pissed, but
You have no fucking idea.
Yeah. Oh, and the worst thing is I have this boss that like, because we have a bunch of managers because there's like a million people, and there's this one guy that's like, all right, we got to go
I need to
sweep.
talk to you about your TPS reports.
Yeah, and then he pulls us all off the machines and like basically tears everything down and like has us go help, and then he just walks around like with his arms crossed and like just watches us. And I'm just like, yeah, it's real important. Glad we got down here to help, and you're just fucking standing there watching. Some of these fucking people, man, they take the word supervisor and they like apply the perfect definition to it, like just watch.
Literally, all your job is to watch.
Yeah, so I had some fun. I had some fun at work this week. It was good.
I'm glad you had some fun.
Yeah,
That must have been nice.
yeah. Deaf guy. Oh no, dude! And then deaf guy, he does this thing when you do something like really helpful. He does this like. He gives you this like satisfied look. He gives you the okay sign with his hand.
You live for that satisfied
Yeah, no,
look.
I do. And me and the other new guy were like, that's the ultimate thing you could come across, this deaf guy just like giving you the like okay. And I told him, I was like, one of these days I'm gonna get him to like go down on one knee and just do it with both hands.
I knew it. I knew that would be your ultimate goal
Yeah,
every
and
day,
I'll
is
just
to
be
get
like,
that.
I'll just
to
like
get that
come in my
sign.
pants when I see that. And I'm just like, yes, oh, I've ascended.
Real life trophy.
Yeah, I'll like rescue him from like getting ripped in half or some shit by one of the machines, and that's what he'll do. He'll just get down and like double okay with like both eyes closed. I still have no idea what the guy's name is too. It's kind of sad, but yeah, I don't know. It was great. But anyway, Shadow of War.
All right, ready to get into it, guys?
Hold on,
yeah,
we
what's the question?
Oh,
We
shit.
got a
Yeah, you're
question
right, we
first. All right, so
We gotta make sure this is a 5-hour episode of New Plan.
yeah, that's right. All right, so Black Mage Justin asks, how do you guys feel about the PS2 classics on PS4? Have any of you bought any of them? I'm a sucker for buying games over and over again, so I've purchased a fair share of them. Rogue Galaxy, Dark Cloud 2, and the recently released Jack and Daxter bundle, which is 1, 2, 3, and Jack X.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, Bounty Hunter. Bounty
Oh,
Hunter
yeah,
was
yeah.
a
We've
release of a...
all purchased Bounty Hunter.
I played it on the PS2.
Well,
Schweiss played the free version, which was the PS2 copy that you own.
Yeah, so you owned it before any of us, Joe.
fuck
Yeah,
all
we
you
just
people.
purchased that PS2 classic
You
Bounty
placed
Hunter.
that kernel into our minds.
And just had a heap of fun.
so much
there.
fun.
Oh my god!
So
you know
much
what? Now that I think about that, he got that game from TJ, and TJ said that was one of his favorite games.
You did say
DJ
that? Yes.
beat the game?
I doubt it.
I highly doubt it. He's like, wow, this is great. I'm just gonna put it over here and never touch it again.
That's another mark on TJ. Another mark on TJ.
How many strikes does the guy get?
He struck out. He struck out a while ago.
Yeah, Joe's actually really hurt. I think he has to
I was fully betrayed, so I'm not too happy about that, and that's where it's gonna. I don't need him in my life anymore. It's cool.
Well, as far as the PS2 classics, I do enjoy that they're on the PS4 with like trophies and shit, but like the catalog isn't really that great. I mean, they're putting some on there.
Is
but
Black on there?
No.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. I fucking want Black to be on there.
You know what I forgot is that Criterion did Black. So the guys who did Burnout did Black.
Yeah, I was
That's
reading
why
that.
it looks so
Burnout
fucking good.
3 would be fucking amazing on PS4 too.
Yeah, so we can play it on a not shit TV and
Dude,
it looks good.
You know what? They haven't put on, as far as I know, they haven't put on any PS2 games that have like the online capability. So like as soon as they bring one on, I can't wait to see if like they bring back like an online community for it.
Yeah, I want Outbreak.
I know
That's all I want.
that's one of the things that I'm talking about.
With like
if
2-second load times.
Yeah, if they brought that out, like we'd never see Schweiss again. Like
Yeah.
that would just be a thing.
Yeah, I would just retire to that. I haven't bought any of them for PS2 on PS4 yet, but I have gotten a gift of like a San Andreas copy for PS3. I'm not really into buying games multiple times, and I'm really not into buying like $25 PS2 games, and that's what a lot of those PS2 on PS4
I've
they're
only
really
gotten them when they're
overpriced.
on sale, and I've only gotten the ones I don't have. Like I got Bully, and then I got the Rogue Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting they put Star Ocean until the end of time on there. And I'm
Bully
thinking about
looks
getting
pretty
that.
decent. That looks like a good port. But I have Katamari Damacy on PS3. And that's a PS2 game, so I guess that's kind of similar. But I don't know. It's not really something I've explored much, and I think it's just the price point. Like Destroy All Humans, I bought, and I felt like I got ripped off on Amazon, but it was like $20 on PS2 for PS4, and I'm like, fuck that, man. This game isn't worth $20.
Yeah, it's slightly updated, and you'd get trophies. So,
Yeah, I don't give a
that's-
fuck, though. I'm not going to buy trophies. I almost did that for Bounty Hunter, and I'm glad I didn't because it's a glitch fest on PS4. So.
Oh my god, you have no idea.
Oh, I have an idea.
No.
I watched a couple of them this morning just to get prepped.
No, that's only like the tip of the iceberg. There were so many that I
Just the
just
tip.
didn't fucking. It's too much, dude. It's way too much.
Yeah.
The game was extremely difficult to get
Hey guys,
through.
did we play Bounty Hunter this year?
We did play Bounty Hunter
all
this
right.
year.
I'm just wondering, should we just make a Bounty Hunter podcast? Because we talk about Bounty Hunter so damn much.
I re-listened to that episode yesterday, and Schweiss did say we should have an annual charity stream of Bounty Hunter.
Schweiss could go fucking.
and I agree.
Schweiss can do whatever the fuck he wants, but I ain't
Yeah, by
participating.
himself.
And you know what I want to do?
Bounty Hunt, the charity.
And he was the one after a while. It was like, it wasn't that bad.
Well, it
it's like you
wasn't.
should
You
listen to
didn't play
yourself
the
on this
fucking-
fucking review, you idiot.
You just fucking
Maybe-
didn't
maybe we
play.
should,
Remember how bad it really was.
Maybe we should add an extra Patreon tier for Play Shit Game, and then they can donate to
Don't say
nominate
things
one
like
shit
that.
game for us to play.
They're already nominating shit games for us to play.
Because shit games have good reviews, man. It makes us all laugh inside.
But I don't
Games
know.
have bad reviews.
I don't know if we could go forever with bad games, though. Is
No.
the thing.
No.
Like that's why it has to be kind of a rare.
It has to be like the caviar that you
That's
get every
what
now and then.
that's what Shadow of War was supposed to be. It was supposed to be 50 Cent, but no one would play ball.
Nobody wanted
played
50
lots of
Cent.
ball.
I think a lot of people actually voted for 50 Cent.
Nowhere near as many people voted for 50 Cent as fucking Digimon.
like
You
no
have
one,
to- you have to
no one
understand
voted for
that.
Shadow of War.
Yeah, like they got what, 3 votes?
Mine and a couple other people. So yeah, probably.
A lot of people wanted 50 Cent, Caleb, and the whole point of it was to play shitty games, and that's why that segment only comes up every so often.
That segment is also based on any form of media, which it should just be play bad game. It should just be pick a bad game or a game that has a low Metacritic score, and that's what we pick.
But I
We gotta
don't
do
Because
that.
based on any media just means that it doesn't necessarily
Joe,
mean it's going to be a bad
we don't
game.
have. We can make it like
'Cause
a
it's like-
segment where
Well, let's
we
find
play
out.
it.
I
not
guess
you.
we'll find out whether or not this game's a bad game here.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Shadow of War.
Yeah, are we ready to get into it?
I'm
Yeah, let's
so
do it.
ready for you guys to get into it.
All right, let's get into it.
Bunch of orcs just standing in the snow. Then a hooded figure with swords. Then a crouched figure looking over at some water.
Over 60 awards and nominations.
Then a giant spider.
Sexy spider.
A lot of scores doesn't deserve.
Sounds like someone's salty motherfucker.
I thought the same thing when I saw the Horizon Zero Dawn. It's pretty good, but
Are you going
The
back?
war for Mordor begins.
no, it's a great
Some
game.
running, some exploding, some dragons. Some cutting from behind. Some tripping of creatures. Yeah, grabs.
You can play for hundreds of hours.
Psych, you will! You have to!
Just to go, they just showed us right there about how all the enemies are the same fucking.
Yeah. Cycling through different looking enemies to do the exact same thing. Some bow
That was
wag.
actually a really cool fight, though.
Was it?
I liked it.
War is
Shadow.
here. Nothing will be forgotten.
But hidden behind in game.
Dun-dun.
All right, so you want to explain why I'm not reviewing this game?
Okay, so yes.
You're not going to explain why you're not playing this game?
I think people.
Anyways,
know.
there was some controversy. This was supposed to be our game based off other media, that this thing that we normally all play together, then review. Joe.
Not everybody wants to play ball.
Okay, so there's a couple different controversies. We're reviewing it because we didn't want to keep delaying it, and Joe basically said he's not going to play this game. So if you're angry about that, just tweet Joe. He loves your tweets.
You got 24 hours.
He said
You have an infinite amount of
I
time.
didn't say I didn't want to play this game. I do want to play this game. I really do.
He just can't.
Can't.
And
Lord
he
of the
can't
Rings
because
is
he works
also
too
one
much.
of Joe's favorite universes. So yeah.
Well, I technically can. It's just that time that I have in between me getting home, showering, eating, and then going to bed.
Just don't shower anymore.
It's just
Save on the water bill.
It's just
yeah, it makes your skin healthier. Less dry.
I'm covered in ink and like dust from boxes.
Less dry.
That's not true. My hands get like
Go,
freaking
go bathe in some mud.
dried out with that stuff.
the cardboard?
I'm
I thought with
handling.
your copious use of hand lotion would keep your hands nice and
Yeah,
smooth.
Or
'cause
like-
I use so much hand lotion.
Oh, yeah, every
or like
night, isn't
fucking
it?
KY.
Never.
He's not using that for his hands, Cam
Shit,
Cam.
shit, I can't open the door. It's laundry day. I don't have a towel. Just fucking. That's the worst.
Okay, so
No,
Joe
I
didn't-
could have played it, but I mean, we would be postponing review episodes until
Yeah, no, we don't want to keep
mid-January.
And we'd
postponing
be
review
postponing
episodes.
multiples as Schweiss or Cam Cam and Joe also have Fable 3 to go
Which
through.
actually just did arrive this week, so that's what I'm. Are you going to beat
Are you
that,
going
Joe?
to try to play that on time? 2 weeks from now.
That one might have to be delayed, but I really do want to play that. And we don't really have a choice on that one. It's not like there's still
four of
three
us.
of us playing
Yeah.
it. It's just me and Cameron.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to play that just as much. I might not play it till the first week of January, but so it might be delayed a little bit.
All right. So Joe didn't play, but then there was extra controversy
Joe
on
don't play.
what actually how do you beat this game?
No
where is the beat?
It is I am correct, and everyone who is against
This
me
was
is
a
wrong.
1 hour argument before we started recording.
We're just going to recap it. We're not going to get into it. Certain people feel that Act 4, which is the final Shadow Wars, where there's a little cutscene at the end of that, that's the true and real ending of the game. But for the most part, people online and people here at this table agree that Act 3, after the main boss fight, is the real ending of the game.
Literally, if you say it's a true ending, that implies that it's not the ending of the game.
But it's the real ending.
It's not the ending of the campaign.
Anyways, let's not get into that. We'll let the listeners decide how they feel about that. Caleb and I played up until Act 3. I wanted to play more, but there is actually hundreds of hours you can put into that in-game portion. Caleb Schweiss, however, true to his full hog status, has played all the way to the very end of in-game content.
Not that he was trying to do it through hog status, but he believed that it was part of the story.
Well, it is part of the story, but is it part of the story you need to play?
It's not part of the campaign.
Anyways, the clan divided.
The clan divided.
If I agreed with Schweiss right now, would that mean we would have to put on the game even longer?
Yes, actually, we would, because we would. If you agreed with Schweiss, we'd all have to play, but Caleb won't, because Caleb's always right.
I am always right.
That's not true.
I am literally always
I
right.
thought the saying
you
was
thought at some point that by blowing into your Ethernet cable, that would somehow clean it off enough in order for your
Well, you know
internet
what?
to start
Dust
working
does
again.
interfere with that shit. So you know what?
That was my shining moment.
Did he blow into the Ethernet port on the computer, or did he blow
on
on the
the cord.
Ethernet cable?
He blowed on both. He blowed into the port.
He
and blowed
blowed?
on the cable.
I was making sure that there is no
I was
dust.
sitting on the couch
know.
telling Schweiss, watch this.
Okay, so that's just a little bit of an introductory to this episode.
Yeah,
little
that's
argument
another reason
beforehand.
why those people should not be trusted, and I'm the only voice that you need to listen to.
So,
Because you're easily fooled.
No.
Middle Earth: Shadow of War is an action role-playing video game developed by Monolith Productions and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. It's the sequel to the 2014 Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, and it was released worldwide for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on October 10th, 2017.
You know, I think the only thing that disappointed me is that you can't use a toilet seat as a weapon. Because, like, they created, they made Condemned 2, which you can totally use a toilet seat as a weapon.
That's a great
I
game.
It's like the only game that I know of where you can just rip off a fucking toilet seat and then just beat people down with it.
in this one, you want to go into an outhouse, find an outhouse toilet seat. I don't even know
And
if
then proceed
outhouses
to beat
had
orcs
toilet
with it?
seats.
Yes.
I mean, who knows how far along the indoor plumbing orcs got at that point. So
Probably
anyways,
none.
development for this game, there isn't much more than was for the first one. So I'm pretty sure they just reused a lot of the resources from developing the first game. But for this game, since they learned a lot with making Shadow of Mordor, it was a learning study for Monolith on how to make an open world game. And for this time, they just wanted it to be bigger than the first game. They wanted to be more open world, wanted to be a game that could capture kind of the epic battle scenes that you see in the Lord of the Ring films. To me, it feels like the gameplay they changed to be simpler and more fluid, so they can actually increase the difficulty for those battles later on. They had some light humor elements added there too to counteract how much fucking fighting you have to do, because they didn't want you to wallow in the depravity, is what they said. So,
Is that literally the words they use?
so the words that they use here are recognizing the violent inherent within the Middle-earth setting. Monolith aimed to include light, humorous elements that play off the thirst for violence that orcs have, so the game would not have a wallow in it or feel sadistic.
I want it to feel sadistic.
Well, if you ever shame someone all the way to the fucking bottom and break their mind, that is very sadistic.
Yeah, it is.
And I did feel slightly guilty for doing that.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
He deserved it.
He did deserve it. I don't want them. No, you gotta set
They all deserve it.
gotta set an example to, you don't betray the bright lord. So, Definitely. So another little bit of this game, Michael Forgay, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but it's Monolith's executive producer. He died of cancer during the development and release of it. So a part of that, what they wanted to do was they sold a DLC named Fort Hog Orc Slayer. It was a $3.50 DLC that was originally going to go to his family, but then they thought that was a little much.
You had a 50-cent DLC?
$3.50 DLC. And so they decided to reimburse everyone who bought that. And instead, Warner Brothers, everyone was criticized for it. So Warner Brothers was just basically gave a lump sum donation to the family and reimbursed everyone who bought it.
Yeah, so initially they were going to give all the proceeds from the DLC.
Yes, to the
and then
family.
there was like this huge controversy because they're like, oh, actually, except for in this and this and this and this and this region. And people got really pissed, and all the social justice warrior pieces of shit called out.
Yeah, people who don't understand how taxes and things like that work.
People
in
who don't
different
have
regions
jobs,
Like
so
us.
they don't work, so they just get free shit all the time. They don't understand how taxes work and how we pay for them to
the
live.
cost of the development.
And
of the thing,
so
and-
they threw a big hissy fit, and Warner Brothers ended up being like, okay, well, fuck it, we'll just give them a shitload of money instead. So, yeah, it was a big controversy, and I was like, Dwayne was like, yeah, it's kind of stupid they did that, and I'm like, well, I mean, they're still giving them money.
No,
like,
yeah. So what they were trying
what
to
is the
do
handout
was
not
like
handouty enough for you?
they made a DLC in the honor of that guy,
Yes.
and then they said that they were going to give like a majority of the proceeds to the family.
Yes.
And then everybody lost their shit because, like, in other regions, because it was still DLC, other regions, like other countries and places where, like, taxes and things were messed up. Like, it wasn't necessarily, like, they couldn't mess with the proceeds and stuff
Yes.
because they weren't necessarily going to honor the charity stuff in other countries. So, like, that's like why everybody lost their shit. They're just like, oh, well, they're just trying to pocket all this money. And it's like, well, you don't know that.
Yeah, it's people.
You literally don't know
It's
that's what's
people
happening.
who are too stupid to work that also know how to run a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah, so,
Assholes.
yeah.
Well, a little bit of controversy there for that release, but the game was originally slated
doesn't
to
wanna
be
say
released
shit.
in August, but it was put off for 2 months for October 10th. But did you guys know there was a Shadow of War mobile app game released for it as well?
No.
I didn't play it
until
either.
today.
That was released in September of 2017. So it's a more over-the-top type strategy game where it has some of the same elements where you can capture, orcs and stuff and turn them to your side, but over-the-top type strategy.
Does it have a story?
I don't know. I didn't play it, so I can't. We're not reviewing that game.
No, I'm just wondering if Schweiss has to play that in order to review this
yeah.
game.
Actually, Schweiss does have to play that game. It's a mobile companion version, so you gotta fucking play it in order to know.
It's a companion. That means it's part of it.
Yeah, it's part of it, Schweiss.
Companion is when you're not smart enough to figure out what the book means. You read a companion book alongside it. Like those companion scripture readings where like it just explains what you just read.
Oh, so it's like when you're not
think
smart
that's a
enough
big
to understand where
No, it's not a big
post-game is.
deal. It's just you just don't know how to read, so it's fine. It's not a big deal.
I completely disagree with you on that. You don't go from 0 to 100 on that stuff. If you need like a Cliff Notes version of Shakespeare in order to kind of understand what happened, that'll help you understand the text better.
Well, maybe you should
Totally
just read more
disagree with
and
you.
build yourself up to that point instead of diving in nuts deep into the hardest shit you can.
And sometimes you don't have a choice.
And also, sometimes maybe reading is left to the eye of the beholder and shouldn't be explained to you step by step.
The ear of the beholder.
The ear of the beholder in your case. That's why I don't like the whole like, oh no, the author meant this by it. I'm like, well, I don't really care what the author meant by it. I feel like and that's the whole point of the scriptures. It's like there's messages in there,
How'd
but
this
like
turn
it's
into a
for
religious
you.
rant?
Don't you think so, Cameron?
I don't
The
know.
companion
It's getting a
app
little weird.
thing?
It's getting a little weird. A little.
The only reason I want Schweiss to play the companion app
Tangential.
is because he advocates playing to the very end of Act 4.
Well, that's different. That's not a separate.
It's not
app.
different.
Anyways, besides the point, this game was released to generally positive reviews. Some people getting mad about they felt it was more of a pay-to-win type game because with the huge in-game grind. But that's really just your perspective. If you play the game well and you level up really well, then it's really not as much of a pay to win at the end of the game, but still a grind.
Yeah. Just don't suck.
But that's pretty much about, the development. They use a lot of the same resources, the release. And so now we just go into the game itself. So the story-wise, they use kind of the same elements from the first one. We had different story arcs that you could then specifically go do. Had the same thing here. You had a Gondorian story arc. You had a Shelob story arc. Can't remember what was the title of that story arc.
I don't fucking remember.
It was just Shelob missions.
And then those two were the kind of the main part story arcs. But then you
they
had
were like intermingled.
And then they had the 9 story arc, and then you had side story arcs, one with an orc, and then another one with the Mother of Nature story arc. Kind of the same way where you had a monster hunting story arc from the first one. Karnan kind of was that one here on this one.
Yeah.
Each story arc was really interesting, gave you good rewards. You'd be dumb not to play all the story arcs. The main story is you are Talion. You are returning to Gondor at the beginning, and you're helping defend Minas Ithil, right?
Sure. One of the meanest.
I'm going to be called out on this.
One of the meanest places.
One of the meanest places. You're called in to defend it.
I doubt anyone will give a shit.
Because you knew there was
You
one
doubt?
of those Palantirs.
Abrax just like,
You doubt that people will give a shit on lore for Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I do. Because
Lore of the Rings.
Because they didn't play to the end of chapter 4, so I don't care what they think.
I don't have internet here. I just have this pulled up, but it's a Palantir. That's the orb.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the
Yeah,
fucking Palantir.
and you were going to use the orb as a way to fight.
It's a dangerous tool.
Sauron fight the Dark Army, and you knew it was in Minas
You don't
Ithil,
know who else may be watching.
and you wanted to implore the person who had the city to let you use this weapon against the Dark Lord. Anyways, you help defend the city from the Witch King. Witch King wins. It turns into Minas Morgul, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, much better place. Better party.
And then from there, you are sent out into the world to start putting together your Orc army to start taking over Mordor, to retake these places, to steal the Palantir from the Witch King.
Yeah, it basically takes a really cool ending section of the
And
first
you see
game, and
the
it makes it
sexy
like the
side of
beginning.
Shelob the spider.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's...
What?
As a
She
woman.
turns into a fucking MILF, dude, is what happens.
She has a lot of kids.
So apparently, Shelob and Sauron are part of this very early race that look kind of like elves, but they're more ancient elves. Shelob's one of them. She can give Talion visions of the future and kind of give them a way to
And is also
counteract
the biggest
that.
plot hole in the entire
The biggest
fucking
plot,
game.
the biggest plot hole. Talion has a thing for her, Celebrimbor, your Wraith companion, who is the creator of the rings. Doesn't like her. She steals your ring at that. So the ring was created at the end of the Shadow of Mordor. Mm-hmm. And that's a big plot point in this one, where you need the ring to...
It's not the ring.
Not the ring, it's a new ring.
It's just a ring. But yes,
that
it
you're
is-
going to use to
Well,
defeat
it's not
Sauron.
just a ring.
It's
It's supposed to be
lowercase
what they call it is they say it's like the opposite
It's supposed
of
to
the
be
one ring.
the pure ring,
Yeah,
So
the
it's
one
the-
that's free from corruption.
The Eno.
but it's still
the
hinted
opposite
at
of
that
the
it might
one.
corrupt you because you can't trust the ring of power. Anyways, you use this ring of power to bring Mordor to your side to then fight Sauron the Dark Lord. Do we want to spoil?
No.
No spoilers.
No.
And
Well,
use
game
this
is
to...
fucking
The game is too new.
It's too new. Okay, no spoilers, guys. So you use this ring to fight
Might
the
as
Dark
well
Lord
fucking spoil.
to
Just like-
take over Mordor. And that's pretty much the plot of the game. The gameplay-wise, like I said before, it feels like they simplified the controls. Am I alone in that?
A little bit. I think they made the combat better, and I think this is.
But I
this
think
is
they
the-
simplified the controls to make it better.
I think this is the best version of the Batman controls that exists. It's better than Arkham City, but only just barely. Arkham City is about on par with Shadow of Mordor, I would say, and Shadow of War I think improves beyond that. I did play Arkham City on PC, so my opinion might not be quite
We're
as
talking about
stressworthy.
story right now.
No, he just started
No,
talking
no,
about gameplay.
we're talking about gameplay now.
What?
We
But
switched into gameplay.
But we
Why
have
are
to give
you
scores
switching
to
the gameplay?
story.
You
We don't
all
give
have
it-
to give your
We don't give it a
opinions.
score. It's perfect.
I was
put
just
that
going to do an
infinity
overview
sign
of the game
over
and then we
our,
could score it. But yeah, okay, let's score story then.
Yeah, what do you
Craig,
guys
we'll let you
think
go.
of the story?
I say we let Craig go first.
Okay.
'Cause
Craig, go first.
me
Whoa,
go
whoa,
first.
whoa, 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 whoa! I think Craig should go last.
Yeah, I think I have the biggest
can go
problem.
first.
So
I can feel it from him. I can feel.
Story-wise, I was getting into this and I'm like, I don't know if they're trying to keep this in line with the Lord of the Rings universe because there's certain things here that just don't make
it's a
fucking
lot
sense.
of lore breaking.
And so I kind of looked it up, and it is a non-canon game, meaning the story here should be viewed only in this aspect of the game. It is canon to the game itself. So you can't say, hey, it's breaking lore in the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy because let's just take it as a different view on Tolkien's universe. So in that respect, that is one way you can enjoy the game. I feel like the quest for Talion to fight the Witch King, and then the side quests that he does with Carnan, the spirit of the Mother Nature, all of that was really interesting. Your internal fight with Celebrimbor all the time, where you want to be brutal, but you don't want to turn into what you're fighting, basically. So story-wise, personally, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yep.
I think I'm going to give it an 8 because I like I like how they're kind of taking a more Eastern approach to the whole situation. One of the big problems with like American tales is like it's good and then it's evil, and like there's not really a middle ground.
American Tales.
Well, like Western literature and Western movies and Western everything is good and evil because we're so Christian based. There's not very much room for kind of that like gray area where 90% of everything actually exists. And I feel like this game kind of explores that just a little bit more than Lord of the Rings does itself. Like Lord of the Rings is, for the most part, a good and an evil, and sometimes you're good but you're weak. But I mean, that's kind of the idea of being.
Where
good.
does the line? Would you cross over? Is what this one's exploring.
I think it explores it with the idea of Celebrimbor because he is the Bright Lord, but he's almost just as bad as Sauron at times. He's very brutal. He is,
and that's the whole internal
vicious.
argument that Talion has with Celebrimbor.
Yeah, because Talion is the gray area, and he's got these two extremists on either end of him that are basically the same thing, even though they can't stand each other. It's kind of an interesting like political struggle between the two, where you realize they're both assholes. They both suck, but one of them is going to win, and it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just an interesting take on it. I like that, and that's one thing that Final Fantasy explores a lot, especially with Final Fantasy III, because there's like a storyline in it where you would learn about the Warriors of Darkness, and they're like, there was too much light in the world, so they had to come in and like bring in the darkness to kind of like have this equilibrium, this balance between the two. This game doesn't really explore it in that direction necessarily, but it does show that, even the pure can be a little bit brutal and evil to get to where they want to be. And I didn't feel like the books did that really at all. I think that Frodo
Books are pretty clear on good and evil.
Yeah, I think Frodo
except
has,
with maybe Boromir, but
yeah, Frodo has his Jesus
Boromir's
moment.
only gray, but it's always around the ring. The ring has the power to twist someone's desires.
Yeah.
So it was a clear good and evil unless you're around the ring.
Yeah, Frodo had his like Jesus moment of doubt scenario, but he was uplifted by Sam, and he made it through.
he didn't.
I
he
can't
didn't.
carry the
Gollum took
ring,
it
but I can
and then
carry
fell
you.
into the thing.
Yeah, so
Well, they threw
Frodo was going to keep it, but then Gollum was the one who was the
Spoilers.
No, they threw him in because he was trying to
No.
take it back from him.
No,
No.
Gollum jumped in with the ring.
Gollum jumped in and bit
Gollum
off Frodo's
jumped onto
finger.
Frodo bit off his finger to take the ring from him, and then fell back
Did he intentionally
and
fall?
then fall.
No, exactly. They like
Yeah,
pushed
we're
him
saying
off.
we're saying
No,
that
no one
Frodo.
pushed him off.
No, we're saying that Frodo was going to keep the ring, and
Well,
the
of
only
course
reason
he
the
was
ring
gonna keep the
fell
ring.
in was because Gollum miscalculated the amount of force he jumped at Frodo with and bit off his hand, but he carried himself.
It
off
says
the
he
edge.
he stood there, wavered a little, and then fell off the edge. You can pick up the book if you want. Yeah,
Well, either way, he still had his moment of doubt.
He did.
Came through, I guess, sort of in the end.
Sam came through.
Okay, Sam is the real hero here.
Yeah, he is.
He never had the ring, so he was never corrupted by it.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought the story was fine. It's kind of self-serving. Works within
definitely
the universe.
self-serving. And it only works within the confines of the game.
Yeah. I don't know. There are a few things in this game, and there were a few things in the first game that bothered me about the timeline. Caleb brought this up earlier. Like, it's got a big time gap, and this shit's supposed to happen a long time before the Lord of the Rings
time before
universe. But Gollum is not that old. Like, he can't be that old. You
not
start
that
to
old.
age and die when you fucking leave the ring. Like, if you remember Bilbo, that guy's pretty old, but Gollum's way older than Bilbo, and Gollum hasn't had the ring for a long fucking time, and Bilbo didn't have the ring for like a month, and he got fucking old as hell. So this game's bullshit when it comes to Gollum being okay without the fucking ring for this long. There's no way he would live that long without that fucker. And so that it's a little weird with that, and it's almost semi mishandled in that way. Like, you could just bump up the time frame, make it a little bit closer to the universe itself, kind of a thing. So that part kind of didn't really work as well for me, but for the most part, I think it's pretty fine.
Okay, Craig.
Okay, so I am gonna spoil because fuck you.
Give you guys a second to
Yeah, Roxo's
get away.
right. Sam did have the ring. He just didn't put it on. That's when he held it when he got captured.
All right. So anyway, the biggest. So I don't like Talion that much as a character. I find him to be lacking in a lot of ways. He's kind of boring, to be honest. And really, every other character in the game has way more personality, and so do the orcs, for that matter, that you fight. Like, that's one of the big things about the Nemesis system, is that they're like bringing in these people, these like orcs that have their own personalities, you know, that are that you're supposed to see that way, and like they have way more personality than the character you're fucking playing as. And
Well, the character's you.
no.
Why are you so boring?
That's not what it's supposed to be, Schweiss. You have a clearly defined character. He is not supposed to be you. And then, like, fucking Shelob, you get in the middle with Shelob. And
You just want to fuck Shelob the whole time.
yeah, I just want to fuck Shelob the whole time. But, like,
It's like a 2B situation.
Yeah, but, like, so at the end of the game, when he puts on a ring, like, he finds Shelob again, and Shelob tells him that she was trying to prevent some sort of future event of where Celebrimbor and Talion defeat Sauron, and then they subjugate Sauron, and the Bright Lord is basically taking over the entire world. And she was preventing that by having Talion do certain things, but the stupid thing is, at the very beginning of the game, she forces them to give her his ring. She wears it, and then she gives it back to, like, let those events unfold when she could. And she literally has the power to rip Celebrimbor from Talion's body, killing both of them. And she was trying to prevent Celebrimbor's taking over the world. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. Oh, Cameron brought up a good point. I guess Smeagol was like almost 600 years old when he died, so I guess it might work.
And Bilbo was 112.
Yeah, he wasn't that old.
Well, he was 11-1, and then I think the events of Lord of the Rings is only like 12 months.
Yeah. Oh, Roxo brought up a good point too. Gollum did have it for a really long time, so that's probably why he.
So it's like long, you know.
Yeah, the longer you have it, the longer you live. Yeah,
Sure.
I guess that works.
It's still the universe. Gollum's
Fuck it, he
old as
does
fuck,
whatever he
so-
wants. Yeah.
Yeah, but even like it's supposed to be like.
All right, so you got a problem with problem with the logic.
They switched the
There's,
time.
it's not just like a problem with the logic. It's just like there's a massive plot hole like within Shelob, like, and then
Within
that
her.
you want to fill.
I want to fill that massive plot hole.
yeah, I want to feel her plot hole, but
Just feel it.
Oh God. Oh man, that's such a tight plot hole.
but like, and
I want to
aside-
fill it with facts.
And aside from that, like, there's like so many storylines that go on that are broken up through like the way that you can do them, and that just. While it's good for a game to have like multiple plot lines that you can go and explore for like a game like Lord of the Rings where you're trying to follow one specific storyline, it doesn't really work. Especially when like a lot of the storylines have nothing to do with what's going on. Like when you meet Karnan, or like the stuff with Bruce doesn't really make any sense until it tells you what you're supposed to do.
The stuff with
like
Bruce is basically
gameplay-wise.
a tutorial.
Yeah, it's like a tutorial thing, and he's like the biggest part of the comedy, and like he has his own storyline, which like makes sense within the gameplay world.
They were trying to characterize the orcs a little bit more.
Yeah,
through
they're
Bruce.
trying to characterize the orcs, but like it doesn't really do that much.
Well,
and then the Gondorian story was also really weak.
I ignored Bruce's quest line for so long. By the time I got back to it, I just breezed through it.
That one was like the funniest part though? And
Yeah,
like
Bruce was
what's
the
the other
comedic
guy
relief.
that's with you from the first game?
Oh, Ratbag.
Yeah, that guy was awesome because he's like explaining. What
I kept hating how Talion kept talking down to Ratbag. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he was like talking about
Ratbag is
how he
funny.
ragdolled after Bruce, like.
Yeah,
fucking
he's like after he
skewered,
like stabbed him.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously, it's just kind of like a skewer. And
And then you were like, the look on your face. Yeah, that guy was the best. He was the best in the first game too, though.
yeah,
so.
Ratbag is awesome. But
Again, you're right though. More interesting character than the main guy.
yeah, like everybody is more interesting than the main character, and then like the Gondorian story is just bad. It's literally like hours and hours of just like dragging on, and then Talion screaming, "We need the Palantir!" Like that's literally the entirety of the Gondorian plot line, and then like they get kidnapped by orcs. Like 50
He has a
times.
love interest for like 2 seconds, but then he doesn't.
No, he
because
doesn't. The love
the chick
thing
wants
is
his
between
dick,
the black
but-
guy and her.
Yeah.
Chick wants Stallion now.
That's the love plot.
No.
She
No,
doesn't.
the love plot is
No.
between.
I
her
saw
love
it in
is
her
death
eyes. She
itself.
No, it's Idril and the black guy.
No, she wanted the D.
That I can't remember.
She
his
wanted the
name.
Italian D. She wants the Wraith. Everyone wants to fuck a Wraith. It's like
No.
Marines.
No,
They're the Marines of their world, Craig.
you're thinking of maybe of Endril or whatever her name is, the chick who has the light of Galadriel.
Yeah. Yeah, she wants the Wraith. She wants Celebrimbor.
Idril wants the black dude.
I know you're talking about.
she even had the Wraith inside her. I think that's a whole new step.
Once you go Wraith, you don't go back.
You know what's funny about the Marines thing? So
What?
I was talking to Paige about this too, who helped me make a manual song. She's a friend of mine. And my dad was Green Beret Special Forces. Now, Special Forces, they're kind of like the third tier on the specialty units for the Army.
Yeah.
So at the top, it's
Rangers?
like Delta Force,
Oh,
and
no.
then it's Navy SEALs, and then it's Special Forces, and then it's Rangers, and it goes down from there. They all make fun of the Marines. They all make fun of the Marines
Well,
like
that's the thing,
they're
is everybody
they're
makes-
worthless. And
Everybody makes fun of everybody.
they call themselves Marines, and really what they are is like cooks.
What's funny is they're in the Navy too,
so?
and they hate it. When you tell a Marine that they're in the Navy, they fucking hate it. But I love it because I'm like, you're a fucking Navy unit. Suck it up,
So
Navy Marines.
living
bitch.
with Cody, and Cody was always like looking up to the Marines, and I was just like thinking of my dad, just like my dad would blast Rangers and he would blast Marines all day.
Yeah, that's how it is though. The Air Force guys think everybody else sucks. Like the Marine guys think everybody else sucks.
And my dad in retirement got really pissed at Air Force people because he'd be like, they're claiming PTSD, but they didn't see battle. They were in the air. So
Just the thought of all the lives they end with the press of a button.
yeah, I don't know who's right in that situation, but it's always funny hearing the Marine thing. It's like now it's like, oh, I'm not really impressed by anybody except for Navy SEALs and Delta Force.
yeah,
I know one Army Ranger guy, and he was pretty intense.
Yeah, the special forces are like they go into areas quietly and try to talk with the troops. They're not troops that like do battle unless they like they're in a very specific situation. The Rangers, however, are like they're like the doorbusters.
Yeah.
They're like the crazy guys.
He had some helmet cam footage, and it was so
The special forces
intense-
guys are the snipers.
intense shits.
So
or the guys who kill the Bin Ladens of the world.
Army Ranger, his footage of was his friend puking over the side of a building because they got bad MRE. But then he looked over across the street, and there's this apartment building that just had fire coming out of it, like someone shooting out of it. And then one of those Apache helicopters comes over their top of their building, shoots fucking just lights up that building, just destroys the full front of that building where the fire is coming out of, and just off it goes.
From what I understand, the difference
intense.
between an A team and the Special Forces and an A team and Navy SEALs is that in Special Forces they each have a specialty and are trained in all of them, but they each have a specific specialty. Navy SEALs are trained in all of them, and none of them have a specialty. I don't know how that changes, like what they're doing on the field, but that's how my father explained it. It's like that's the difference between the two. And I think Navy SEALs is more water-based stuff as well.
Amphibious assault.
Yeah, and
they also get clubbed by the Japanese
speaking of
and harvested for their food.
what do you give the story for? I also don't know what I'm talking about. What do you give the story out of 10?
I'd probably have to give it like a 6.
A 6 out of 10.
There wasn't enough there to really make me enjoy the story. In fact, I found most of it to be kind of boring. And like even the really big stuff was just kind of meh.
Okay. Meh.
And then
It's a meh story.
Shelob ends like really fucking early, so you don't even get to see hot Shelob anymore. So it's
Yeah, you just get Spider Shelob after.
Spider Shelob.
Okay. Gameplay.
Still hot, but
Tell us about gameplay. What is this gameplay like? Cameron.
So gameplay. Like I said before, I think they made the controls more fluid. And at first I'm like, wow, this game is so much easier than the other game was. And then by the time I got to mid-game, I'm like, no, it's not easier anymore. They did that because they added some enemies that specifically fuck up your day.
The fucking Ologs.
Yeah. Ologs are actually easy compared to some of those orc captains and sergeants that have these bullshit powers. One thing I did not like is Italians addicted to jumping over orcs. Like, you just wanted to, politely dodge around this orc that you can't vault over, but for some reason, Italian he just wants to hop over his head. He can't help himself.
it's something that he one day just figured out how to do, and then like that's all he wants to do now.
Cam, remember hopping over zombies in Dying Light?
Vaguely. It's been a long time.
Because like as soon as I found out that I could just vault over zombies, that's like all I did.
So,
Exactly, Caleb figured it out, and that's
no,
all I
so
wanted to do.
that's one of my main points of frustration when I'm trying to fight a one-on-one battle with an orc who's in charge of a fortress. And he has Vault Breaker, which means you can't vault over him. And so, you just wanted to roll behind him so you can do your stun attack on him real fast and then hit him with a few follow-up attacks. For some reason, Talion's like, hey, I know you pointed that way and did the mechanic to do a dodge roll, but how about let's go that way instead and try to jump over this fucker.
So instead of last
for the
game,
15th time.
instead of the last game where he was obsessed with climbing walls and like, jumping
I mean,
on
a little
walls,
bit of that
now
this
it's like-
time.
Now it's like climbing orcs.
It's this time you're trying to do a dodge roll around an orc, and it's like, oh, you want me to jump over him?
Well, here's
Let's
the big
jump over
problem,
him.
though, is the orcs in this game, they adapt to your playstyle.
Yeah,
so if
yeah,
you
a
jump
little
over
bit.
them too many
Not too
times
much.
on accident,
Yeah.
they can adapt, and they're immune to you jumping over them. So you'll
Yeah.
try, and they'll just knock you down. They'll get
They'll
used
have
to your
Vault Breaker.
attack.
They'll adapt and adapt to Vault Breaker.
Yeah, which is, I think, one of the coolest parts about the game is that the enemies adapt to your particular playstyle. So you can't just keep spamming
It
the
is
same.
until it's fucking bullshit. Like when you use Elven Rage and like it doesn't kill them because you're fighting 4 captains at once, and then they all develop like immunity to arrows.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
fucking ridiculous.
Anyways, I'm still not off my vault thing. Okay. Like, you have no idea the amount of frustration this caused me. I'm like, I did not fucking tell you
I have some idea.
to jump over this orc. I did not. And then like I was saying, this game suffers with an accuracy issue on certain mechanics. Like, once you break a captain or a sergeant orc, you can then use your power to subjugate him. It's the same power that you use to subjugate animals and stuff like that to make them to your side. So what I found out is if you have a broken captain in front of you and he's within range to for you to subjugate him, to use your little force thing on him, and then there's a broken Caragor behind you who's slightly almost barely in your range, but he's far away. Instead of trying to subjugate the person that's right in front of you that you're aiming for, Talion will do a full fucking 360 and subjugate the Caragor first and let the captain fucking run away. Because for sometimes when they're terrified or broken, they turn into Olympic sprinters. And they're fucking just gone.
They turn into a marathon.
And you cannot catch
Marathon
them.
man.
You cannot catch a fleeing orc worth your fucking life.
Well,
even
you
with
can-
your elven speed, because
Even
like,
with your elven speed, that
You can
only
do elven
happens
speed, and you can do the
when
little...
when you vault over stuff, right? You can get a little burst of speed.
No, you can get it from just pressing R3.
And then yes, R3. But they this guy, he must have been just training his whole life for this moment because he was booking it.
Well,
He was fucking flying around those turns.
And I did a lot of shadow dominates, too.
Oh, I tried to do that as many times as I could. But anyways, I feel like this game, it suffered from deciding where you wanted to, did you want to roll or did you want to vault? Did you want to subjugate the captain or the Caragor all the way behind you? It's little things like that I didn't like. And then I still like how each orc has its own special way of taking them down, different things they're scared about, because it makes you change up your gameplay. You're not going at the game the same way every encounter, because that makes the game boring. So it forces you to invest some time into learning more about your target and changing how you go about it.
I kind of disagree on that because, like, a majority of the dudes that I was fighting were like the shield guys, and like they all had ridiculous things like Vault Breaker or whatever. So I had to like really
some
fight
shield
those
guys and some berserkers and some just had all sorts.
Like most of my guys were like the fucking shield guys, so I had to vault over them in order
keeping
to,
true
like,
to every game must fuck Craig, especially
Well,
him.
It's not necessarily that they were shield guys. It's just like most of them were just the same guy, and I just it became a lot of repetition, and I really didn't care for it. Like especially with like the dominating stuff, where like you have to drain them. Like that doesn't target who you want it to target. Like ever. Like fucking
I just said
ever.
that.
Yeah. It just never works, and it gets ridiculous when like you're fighting a guy and they have a shield, so they block literally everything you can do to them. Because like the only way to stop them is pretty much to vault over them, and if they have Vault Breaker, then they're fucking invincible.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
all you have
they
to do is
are.
you dodge roll behind them, and then you just use your stun attack and just follow up with your flurry of blows, and it's usually pretty good. A few times of that. How do you feel about how when you kill a certain enemy, he'll come back later but more powerful?
I thought it was awesome. I think everything about the gameplay in this game is pretty awesome.
The first assassin that I killed came back 50 times. Literally 50 times.
It sounds like you took forever to play the game.
He was nothing but a machine by the last time that I saw him.
That's one thing I love about the game.
I
is
remember,
like, you'll find a dude and he'll like half of his head will just be metal. He's like some weird fucked up Terminator looking dude.
I remember. I posted this on Twitter. Where there's this one guy who kept coming fucking back, and he was one of the ones that had more difficulty killing, and so I finally had him broken. And I threw him into a fucking pit of lava, and my Twitter post was, "Come back from that, you bitch." And then not 30 minutes later, Gravewalker! He was back!
He's in a Vader suit. That would be so godly. Gravewalker.
I am Gravewalker as well!
Did you run into the guy who's wearing the tower's armor from the first game?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was awesome.
This is basically what that would be.
I fucked him up, but he still had it. Yeah. That would be so cool, though. He's like,
I have a torch on my head!
now I have the high ground.
Oh, man. I mean, it got a little bit annoying with them coming back to life. I mean, once or twice, yeah. Especially if it was that quest line where it was the one shaman orc who was bringing everyone back to life.
Yeah,
that would have been
cool.
that would have been okay. But for this one shield dude who, for some reason, he has this ability to call companions to his aid and just literally fucking shits them out of his own body to his very spot. So it's not like he quickly get him before his buddies show up. It's like he blows that horn. He is now multiplying himself into people. And then one of them throw a fucking banner down, and that banner makes all the orcs just attack as fast as they can.
What about the
Little gray.
What about the fortress capturing in the game. That's like a big part of the gameplay,
so
especially later.
That first time when you attack your first fortress, that little cinematic pan, it goes, here's your army, here's the fortress. That was great. That was a cool, hey, this is a cool game moment.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and the whole fortress mechanic was a lot of fun for me. The attack and building up your attacking army, and then if they have like one of those siege trolls, you can go in and take over that siege troll and kill their army with it and stuff. I know. I had that. That for me is a great part of the game.
What would you guys give gameplay out of 10 though, and why?
For me, over the other game, I don't remember what I gave the last game, but 8 out of 10 for me gameplay wise.
8 out of 10, solid.
2 points taken off for the problem with accuracy with the game.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I'm going next. So I had a major problem with the game switching over from like a stealth type game to being a heavily action game. Because like it still had stealth missions, but there were only like 3 of them, and they were mostly like, hey, go in there undetected, and then it was like, okay, now fight for your life. And that was like literally every stealth mission is like half stealth. Yeah, it was like overly repetitive. Especially since like a key mechanic of the game is now taking over the siege or the forts, which is not a stealth thing to do whatsoever. Because you have to take certain points in the game in order to take over the entirety of the thing, and then you have like a boss fight with the big orc that controls it. I didn't really care for that, especially since like you can basically dismantle every one of their defenses against you by taking out whatever warlord is in charge of those defenses. Like outside of the fort, you can just go kill them. And then it makes taking over the fort way easier, so it's like kind of pointless in that way.
Wait, you don't like that?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because it makes it kind of useless to have the fort thing at all. Because if you're taking over a majority of the fort itself by getting rid of their defenses and their big captains, and then all you have to do is just go in, take the forts, and then do the boss fight, why not just be able to do the boss fight too? What's the point of fucking having a fort taking over event if you can already kill all the warlords and dismantle their things from just doing that, and then having to go in just to fight the big boss?
Well, Caleb, you're mad about doing the work beforehand rather than doing it during. You're doing the work either way. You're killing the warlord either way.
Well,
what's
no,
the problem?
The problem is that you're killing everybody in the castle except for the big guy because he's still in the castle, but you're disabling all of their defenses while you're taking out those captains.
You don't like destroying them from within. You don't find that satisfactory?
It's not destroying them from within.
It is.
No, you bring them out.
Just from within.
You bring them out, and then you fight them individually instead of all of them coming at you at once, because you're still going into that fortress to kill them. That one specific person, you're still going into the fortress to kill that one warlord who is part of 5 warlords who control the fucking fortress, and you do that 4 times to dismantle not only their defenses, but killing their warlords. And I think that's stupid. I really do, and it's really repetitive, and I don't like it. Also, like...
What do you like about the game?
What do I like about the game? I do like that you can ride drakes and you can take over the grogs. I do like that there's a lot of different ways to take down the orcs. I do like the orcs a lot. I do think that they're learning against certain moves that you do is interesting. But like, I feel like a lot of that was taken away from the first game. Like, the first game had you focus on specific enemies, and they had specific weaknesses, and you don't have to pay attention to that as much in this game. Like, literally, because and they have way more orcs coming after you at once in this game. It's a lot more epic in scale, which makes it harder to basically fight who you want to fight. Because you'll have like 6 enemies coming after you at once, like 6 captains, while having like 20 other orcs surrounding you. Whereas in the first game, it'd be more like you have 1 captain or 2 captains with like 3 or 4 other orc guys.
All right.
And so you're fighting like a much more massive scale, especially like during Act 3, there was a fight where you have to bring your army against like Isildur's army.
Isildur!
And he has like a bunch of guys, and you're trying to fight him while fighting his guys while also you're attacking your own guys because there's like 50 dudes on a bridge. And that got ridiculous.
Frustrating.
It was frustrating because like the massiveness and scale made it harder to target enemies. For like the drain that Cam was complaining about, and like vaulting over enemies, you were vaulting over your own guys more than vaulting over the enemies.
I would always go to the other enemy captains on the bridge and convert them and have them turn on their other friends right there in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's basically what I had.
It was great. I love that part.
It was rough.
That bridge part was a lot of fun.
What would you give gameplay out of 10?
I'd give it a 6.
6.
Well, you're wrong, and I'm going to give it a 9.
Why is he wrong?
Well, I loved the fortress capturing shit in this game. I mean,
and that's a huge part of this game, and it was great.
Essentially, what happens is a fortress. You have a fortress of orcs. They're not orcs; they're orcs, and they have their own strengths and weaknesses. And I kind of disagree. I think it does matter in this game. It doesn't matter quite as much as it did in the others, but. When I look at an attacking force and I'm holding my fort and I see that 3 of them are terrified of poison, I put out my poison bombs and immediately half of their attacking generals are
some
leaving.
of that is great, but when you get like an orc that's riding on a Caragor and then you kill that Caragor and then another Caragor just comes running in and then he gets enraged by Caragors, that's kind of ridiculous. That did happen to me.
What I like is there's certain guys who ride Caragors that are afraid of Caragors, and so you just knock them off their ride. And
then they get afraid of their own thing.
No. Then you convert it, and then they're afraid of it. It's great.
Yeah. I think the fort is really fun. I think it's a great little mini game, and I do think the scale is very epic. I mean, you have your own attacking army. They're like throwing taunts at the other guys, and then you charge, and it's
charging
huge.
at the wall.
I think
it's
the
great.
idea of it is great. I just don't like necessarily how it was executed.
And I love the execution of it too, because I mean, you have 2 options. You either can attack the fort as is with all of the war chiefs that they've assigned to the fort, or you can take your time and go around and either kill or take over or dominate and like convert that enemy leader's war chiefs against him. So what I did I was doing the Shadow Wars, and like I had one where I had the better defending team easily. I was way better than they were, but they were just fucking, I don't know what it was, but they fucking leveled me. Like it was just a systematic takedown. Like everyone focused on one area. I tried to get over there in time. And if you lose a capture point within your area, they bring another fucking war chief in. So it just gets like harder and harder to win if you fuck up just a little bit. And so that one happened. I died, or I got taken down, and then they took over the second one. So I had like 8 of these fucking war chiefs in there, just like endless dudes, like Craig was saying, because they bring more guys with them, and they're fucking banners that like make dudes spawn.
I hate the banners.
Like,
out of all the special things that they can have, the banner is the worst.
Yeah, and it just got overwhelming, and I was like really pissed off, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. And I like went around. I think I was talking to Craig when I did that, and I got like super pissed. And I told you, I went around, and like it gives you these optional missions where you can go encounter the war chiefs, like outside of the
that's
fort.
what I was talking about. Yeah, you can take down each individual one.
And what I did is I didn't take them down. I made them all my teammates. I brought like all 4 or 5, however many you can do, of the war chiefs into my team. So I walked up to the fortress, brought my army in, and they just like blew holes in their own walls. And we just fucking swarmed. Like we just completely destroyed it. I kick open the door. I take my fucking fort back, and no one ever takes it from me again. It was beautiful. There was that, and then another great moment of gameplay is if you have a bodyguard, what can happen? You have like a last chance thing where you get downed when your health reaches 0 and you're like down on the ground.
Last chance things
And you have an active time event where you have to press a button in a certain time, and you can actually deflect their attack.
You can
get
upgrade
back
that
up.
to where when you deflect the attack, it gives you more health back. Or if you do it perfectly, you actually execute the person who's doing it to you.
Yeah, it's harder. I don't think it works with all war chiefs though. Some of them it
no,
can't.
it only works on the minor guys.
On the normal guys.
Yeah. So like there was one where I was taking this. I think I was defending, and I was going to get livid. Like I had the much better force, and there was one guy left, one enemy general left, and I shit you not, he would not take damage from anything that I would do. Nothing hurt this fucking guy. Like he was a level 60 piece of shit, and I couldn't shoot him. he was like, he wasn't immune to arrows. They just didn't do any fucking damage, and he was healing. He was healing from something. I don't know what it was.
Well, there's the equipment system. Did you get fucking good shit?
I had great shit, yeah, because I actually played the game.
The best of shit.
I had awesome stuff, and I
Good amount of
upgraded
fiber.
my equipment. Another great aspect of the game, the equipment upgrade.
I don't like that either.
What is wrong with you?
Okay, honestly, it's
He
because...
doesn't like things.
No, it's not that.
What's wrong?
It's-
Okay, here's what happens. You get
I-
certain legendary equipment, and like they have little optional quests where it's like get 3 kills with Karagors, and you can upgrade your equipment and make it better. What is there to not like
Okay,
about that?
that's not what I do like that, but that's not what I'm talking
What-
about.
what are you
I don't
talking
like
about?
the equipment system in general. Like I liked having the old equipment that you have that you start with, and then just upgrading it with the points that
I like
you got.
being able to find cool stuff because some of
And
the
then-
equipment you find look cool too. When you
You
put
don't
them
like
on.
finding loot?
I like finding loot.
I
And then
didn't care for it. It didn't feel
if
like
you
it
find
fit in the game.
if you find like mid-tier loot and if it's legendary, you can actually do a quest to make them that much better too.
well, yeah,
I thought that was great.
Most
I
of them
enjoyed
are
that
just
part.
like convert a certain guy though.
Okay, so you like
Yeah.
the quest aspect of the gear, but you wish it was just like the first game where you just upgrade the gear you have?
Essentially, like I want there to be like I liked it where like there was quests to upgrade your certain armors, but like I liked the way it was before, where there was
You can still use gems
You
and
unlocked
stuff to
well,
upgrade.
yeah, the gems is what they kind of replaced that system with, but like every new armor that you find basically has the old system in it, where it already has like a specced out thing where you had the runes. But like in the old one, I just liked having the runes better. Like so, you could choose which ones you wanted on each of your things, and you could have like the best thing. And you had a certain amount of damage you
if
were
you
going
think
to be
about
doing
it, they
anyway.
did design it in a loot box friendly way to where it
Yeah,
kind of
and
made you
then
want to
they
buy a loot
implemented
box.
loot boxes. Yeah, and then every time you go into the menu, it tells you about how they're having a new deal, or how you should go into the marketplace, or how you
Yeah.
can find. Yeah.
Fortunately, we are sentient and we can choose.
But you can usually
It's still
find
there, and
you
it's
can
still
usually-
wanting you to
could
do
see,
it.
See, this is
God,
another thing I really
Caleb.
like about this is
You're like a
because
child.
because there are certain
They had an ad
there's
for
certain
Pizza Hut. I had to get the pizza, dude. I had to.
That's not what it's for,
No, 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 no.
Schweiss.
It's just there.
Implementing a loot box system
It's just
so
there.
you can purchase the loot boxes just so you can get equipment in a single player game is fucking ridiculous.
No.
Especially when it's only a 20-hour game, and then they made it specifically for the 60 hours that they were going to have you put into the
I'm
post-game.
Caleb Craig, and I'm the only one that should develop.
Anyways,
video
I really like
games.
the cool loot you can find because what it also does is adds another choice for you in the game. Because when you're going around fighting these Uruks, you're going to find legendary guys to fight, and then what's the one above legendary? Is it just legendary?
Legendary is the highest one.
Okay, so
the
you can
one
find-
below it is epic.
So you can find epic enemies and legendary enemies, and then your choice is: hey, do I dominate them and have an epic or legendary orc on my side, or do I kill them for their epic or legendary drop for equipment? And I like that a lot. You have to choose: do I want the equipment more, or do I want that powerful orc on my side?
I usually always went with converting them.
Yeah.
That's
But-
pretty much what I did because their equipment drops are always garbage.
No,
or
I had-
always,
I had
or
good
always
equipment
the same
drops.
thing.
I had
Dude,
some
I
great
didn't.
shit.
Every time I got a drop, it was always a fucking ring. Every time.
Some
You
of the
can-
rings powers.
Did
are pretty
you
cool.
break them down?
There
and
was
get
this
currency?
one ring power that I had.
Some of them, yeah.
There's this one ring power that I had where you had like a 25% chance of killing an enemy and he would explode. That when
I
it
did
started
have that.
when that started going off, it just scared the shit out of me because I was doing a stealth
Yeah.
mission, right? I killed this guy, and all of a sudden, boosh, and I was standing right next to the body too, and it hurts you if you're standing next to an orc that
Yeah,
explodes.
I did that, and I didn't read what the powers were, and I was like, what the fuck just happened?
That was a little surprising to me. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I'm all sneaky and stuff. All of a sudden, this huge explosion that thank God no other orcs can hear. And so it scares you and it hurts you if you stand next to it. So.
Yeah, they just like everyone turns around and there's just like chunks of their friend, and you're just standing there
The
with your
sick
dick
thing
out.
is, it's
You
like
didn't
a
know it was gonna
20% chance for it to happen. So it's like the one chance that Cam just like, and then he just blows up.
What did you guys think of sound and music?
It was good.
Good.
I enjoyed the sound. They did a very good job with making you feel sound wise that you were in a Lord of the Rings game. The voice acting for like even though the Bruce storyline was just for comedic relief and for training, I really like the way Bruce is voice acted. Like little pop thing he does at the beginning, that little pop off his head and puts his finger in his mouth and makes the popping noise. It was funny to me.
Yeah, I was laughing at his stuff. And
Was the
his
music
accent.
like the Lord of the Rings movies? Is it meant to be that way?
It was kind of like that,
It was-
but it didn't feel as epic.
Okay.
yeah, well, I mean, like, nothing is.
Well, it's not Howard Shore.
Yeah.
They did a good job with putting you there, but not as epic. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What? So, out of 10?
I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
For voice acting included with that, because
what's
voice
the
acting
1
is
point
really
taken
good.
away for?
Just
Just don't feel like it's a 10 out of 10.
like I'm
Yeah,
trying to
that's
think of
basically
the
what
mu-
I
I'm
would
trying,
say, like,
I'm trying
it's-
to think back about the music, and there was nothing where it was like super epic music wise. I'm trying
Yeah,
to remember
there's-
the theme for like the boss battles, and there's nothing that's really coming back to me. But it didn't take away from the gameplay experience.
Yeah,
so.
one thing I want to bring up on gameplay before we move too far along is they do have online quests. So with the upgrading of your forts, you can actually go and fight other players' forts online. Like you'll find little mission tokens lying around, and you can pick it up and like try to take over an enemy fortress. And when you do that, you weaken theirs a little bit online, and then like you can kind of like other people can attack yours, and if you're able to fight them off, like yours raises in strength. And they also have vendetta missions where like if friends of yours or just regular players die to a certain Uruk, you can go online.
Yeah, go
In,
and
like, a
hunt them
separate
down, and then
instance.
both of you get a loot box.
Yeah,
for
you
doing
both
it.
get a loot box for you killing the.
You
for
get a loot
avenging them.
box. You get a loot box.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool.
Everybody gets a
a lot of fun things in the game. Lots. It's almost endless with what you can do with the.
It just
with the
keeps
online.
going on and on and on.
Yeah.
There's always another fortress to conquer.
Yes.
Sound of music choice.
I think it was fine. I think the voice acting was pretty good for the most part. There were a couple times where like they would be saying stuff and like the volume levels were like really shitty. Mostly when like one of the forts I took over, I can't remember which one it was, but like Celebrimbor Italian combo was like saying something, and like the music and the cheering and like the war noise was just fucking way too loud, and I couldn't hear shit. But other than that, like
I didn't notice any mix issues.
I do think
usually
it-
I notice that.
Yeah, I do think it captures the Lord of the Rings universe pretty well. So I'm probably going to give it a 9 as well, because I thought the voice acting was pretty top notch. They definitely spent some time on it and made it worthwhile. And the music, I think Cameron put it pretty well. It's not as great, but it does fit, and it does get you in that Lord of the Rings mood, which I think is important.
Krager?
I'll probably give it an 8. I too noticed, like, I don't know if it was necessarily mixing
I don't know
issues,
if it's a
but like
TV
there was
problem then.
there was a lot of kind of weird sounds going on. Like a lot of it was during the yeah.
It's from,
a lot of it
from
was
a sister's
during,
room.
A lot of it was
No.
during the my God, Cameron. A lot of it was from like the
Call me Vanilla!
How do you
Sorry,
like,
sorry, Craig. Go ahead.
How do you like living with your sister's what would you call him?
A fucking
Slimy
douche.
boyfriend?
Oh. Yeah.
And knowing that she's getting it. She's getting it daily, nightly.
we don't want this episode to be 6 hours long, so
Ever
I'm
so
not going to say
rightly.
anything.
Whoa. They go for 6 hours? So he's got some other kind of steroids that he's taking then.
If you have an erection lasting 4 hours,
Are you guys done?
Did you see that sad look when I brought that up? It's too close to truth. It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing
Joe
it up.
World and
I have to
reality
control my rage.
almost aligned there.
Is it rage towards me or rage towards him? Probably not towards her.
I think we should just move on.
Okay.
Let him
All right.
finish his
Sound
opinion.
of music.
Just move on.
If he
Sound of
answers,
music.
he's going to go.
Okay, so yeah, the Italian and Celebrimbor like combined yelling thing, that was kind of weird and sounded off a couple times. And then there was a lot of like sounds going along with it. Like there was like echoes going on for
That's
his
a new
voice.
word.
I whispered sweet echoes.
There was a little bit of echoes going on for his voice, along with like the cheering, and like there was a lot of explosions and stuff going on sometimes.
So there were just little weird sound issues.
Just little weird sounds, and then the soundscape didn't really match the epicness of what was going on.
I feel like the more complicated sound is becoming for video games, the worse they're getting at it.
Yeah, and there's some.
I had an okay experience sound wise. Maybe it's just it maps to certain TVs better than others. I don't know.
I don't know, but
I'm almost sure that's what it is.
But it just, for me, like the epicness for the music didn't really match what was going on.
How old
like,
is
you're
your
taking
TV,
over
Craig?
these sieges. You're doing like
taking over this
great TV.
The forts with like a shitload of guys, and the music is trying to sound like Lord of the Rings, but it's not as epic.
You got to take over those sieges.
Take over the sieges, man, and the echoes will go away.
Pantera.
I'm sorry.
Out of 10.
I already gave a score for the music.
Maybe modern games can only be played on modern TVs. Maybe it's a certain thing about modern TVs.
My TV isn't
How
that
old is
old.
It might be that it's like made for surround sound.
Maybe.
My TV
but you
is
can
like
change
4 years old.
the audio output.
I was listening to it through headphones.
Yeah, it should be fine.
It should be. That should be like how you listen.
Yeah.
You play the game.
I had my headphones on the entire time, and there was like some.
How much did you spend on your headphones?
Like $50.
Okay,
That should be
that's
okay.
fine.
Headphones.
Depends on the brand, but yeah.
It was Turtle Beach.
Oh, that's why.
I'll
And
tell
it
you
was
what.
on
Let's
sale.
get some professional mixing headphones, because otherwise we can't have an opinion. We gotta get those AKG.
If you're not
studio
going
mixers.
out of your way to listen to this game properly, you're not doing your job.
Okay, all right. Design. How does the game look?
I think it looks pretty good,
Art and
honestly.
graphics.
I'll have to come back to that first time you're doing your first Siege. Epic. The game looked epic. You had your good colors on my HDR TV. The panning out, looking at the army, it was just great.
When I panned out and I looked at my watch while also playing the game, perfection. Everything looked great in that frame. Oh yeah, when I watched it off of my watch screen at a perfect angle, and it looked so good.
It looks better than the first game, but like it doesn't really try to reach quite the levels of like the higher grade looking games on PS4.
Do you think it looks as good as Horizon Zero Dawn?
About the same.
No, Horizon Zero Dawn looks better in my opinion.
A lot less going on in that game, but yeah,
Yeah,
I kind of feel like it does.
In some places, it kinda
Horizon
looks the
Zero
same to
Dawn
me,
was
so.
that's what they were specifically going for. They were
For
going
a
for
lot
a
of the-
beautiful game, to make it look as beautiful as they could. And this one, they didn't quite go there. There was a lot going on in the game in the background.
Craig's given his 7 out of 10 face.
It was good, but
Fucking
I don't even know if you gave it that.
guys.
6 out of 10.
you okay?
No, Horizon Zero Dawn, guys.
How's your left arm?
A little numb.
A little numb.
Killed by Horizon.
Feeling a little nauseous. Left arm's numb. Just got this like clenching feeling in my
Guys,
chest.
I will say that if Horizon Zero Dawn had beaten Hellblade for anything regarding sound, I would have lost my fucking shit. And it was so close. And in fact, it did win and won over something else in the fucking golden joystick.
He's probably talking about the game awards.
This new Game Awards show we're supposed to care about outside of Nude Clan.
Hey, you should have watched it.
Yeah, we give Game of the Year and
Yeah.
secondary Game of the Year.
It was
That's it.
interesting. I'll say that.
We'll say
Had
that.
some,
No, but there's so that's what Horizon Zero Dawn was going for. They're trying to make it look amazing on a 4K TV with HDR. That's the whole. That's
For
one of the point of
the big
Horizon Zero Dawn.
vistas, yeah.
Yeah, that's why Horizon Zero Dawn looked as good as it did, because that was a huge
because the
design
people look
point for that.
garbage.
Yeah, and then the faces look a little weird.
It looked like Aloy looks like she's having a stroke half the time.
And her left side just goes slack.
Caleb, out of 10, how do you think this game looks?
I'm gonna give it a 9 for
9
how
out
it
of 10.
looks. It
So
looks
we're good.
It looks
score.
for as good as the scale is, considering how many fucking dudes they have on screen at
Yeah.
one time, with like with a bunch of fucking arrows and explosions and walls breaking and like literally a shitload of animations going on at once.
And I also didn't notice
it did
the
look surprisingly
the
good.
Christ thing that we so lovingly enjoyed in Bounty Hunter, where
Cristo
the dudes in
Redento.
the
Just the Cristo Redentor.
yeah, dudes in the fucking prison, just like arms out. Like what are they fucking crucifying?
Oh man!
people
Every
in
time
here?
I look at that and listen to that game, that game, they rush production of that game so fast.
What? No.
Less than a year.
No.
From,
They
found the-
from
they found the
design-
production
Less than
team
a
out.
year from paper cutouts to actual game.
They found the production team outside of the local fucking Home Depot. Is probably what happened.
What are you saying? Here,
I'm
man?
saying they
Why?
didn't
What do you
know.
got something against Home Depot?
No, I'm fine with the workers that
No,
hang
he's-
out outside of Home Depot.
That's what he's saying.
I'm just
man.
saying maybe they don't program.
I didn't get it for a second. Sorry. All right, Cameron, what did you think of the look of this game?
You know, Craig gave it a lot more than I thought he was going to, but yeah, 9 out of 10.
It does look good for how for like
And
what's going
then
on.
we're applying that Horizon Zero Dawn should have had a 10 out of 10.
No.
Yeah, I think the game looks pretty good. It's kind of impressive what we're able to do with graphics these days, and I mean, I do think we're going to
Cut
plateau.
to 10 years later, be like, looked like shit.
I think we are going to plateau
You
with
have your
like
virtual reality 9,000.
face graphics and stuff like that here pretty soon, but I don't think environments and things of that nature are going to be are going to be reached at any point. And I think with processing power, I know a lot of people are like, well, I've heard people say this before. They're like, I don't know if we can really get much better than we are now. And I'm like, we can.
It goes up every year.
It goes up every
Right,
year, and
but
more
there's
shit in
actually-
the background.
I read an
Is
article.
that Moore's Law or whatever?
I read an article about this where graphics wise, there becomes a point where something looks too real and it weirds people out.
Yeah,
and
it's called the Uncanny Valley.
The Uncanny Valley. And so
Yeah.
we're actually riding on the edge of that where we can make it look more real, but then people don't tend to like it as
Well, the
much.
problem is that the environments don't look as real. Like the people might look really good on some of those like 2005, 2006 games, but everything
Yeah.
in the background kind of looks like ass.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to really excel. That and like indie style games with like their art designs and shit like that. I think that's when we're going to really start pushing it. But this game, I do think this game does look pretty solid. I think it looks a lot better than the first game, which was obviously an earlier PS4 game with a PS3 port. So definitely early on. I think the design, I think I am just gonna, I'll probably give it a 9 as well. I think the one point I would dock is
It's a good looking game.
there's not that much originality with some
She
of
loves
the,
a good looking spider.
with some of the orcs.
Yeah, she is.
But yeah.
Oh, you know what? I also kind of didn't like how every orc they made more human looking. Isn't that
Yeah, I
weird you
noticed
guys
that.
out?
Did
Like,
you see
from
the,
the first
Did
game?
you see the Agent Uruks?
Yeah, I did. I saw the Asian orcs. They were,
Fucking weird.
Yeah, it was. I mean, those were a little weird, and some of them I didn't quite sit well with me. But actually, in the long run, I think they did a really good job with making these Uruks look like actual living beings in that universe, though.
Yeah, but like in the first game, they actually look like orcs, and in this one, they just look like people with like skin pigmentation, like weird
I
skin
think they
pigment
had-
stuff,
had
and
like-
sharp teeth.
Like 10 different models come in and did some motion cap and some screen capture imaging on them, and then just kind of went from there as that base.
Oh, and then they also have like some fucking crazy ass hairstyles. Because I found one guy who was
the little fucking like horn slash
no,
hair.
okay, dude. I
things
found
coming out
I
of
found
their
a
head.
guy who was literally just like bald, but then he had like really long hair coming out on the sides.
Wait, so like Schweiss?
Yeah,
No, it was. I mean, Schweiss could probably go for that look, but it was like literally just like completely bald, and then just like a little bit of thin hair just coming down the sides. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
So
It
like
looks
aging rock star that refuses to cut his hair still.
It was like it was
like your creepy uncle.
it was like a bloodhound ears kind of like hairstyle, or was like the bloodhound ears just coming down.
Oh,
Oh, it was
that's
whoa,
weird.
that is-
And it was
Okay.
like bald everywhere else. So I was like, "What the fuck? Who designed that? Why?"
I don't like the hairstyle that looked like he was trying to grow pigtails, just like in two spots, just like little bloop right there, and it's growing straight out.
It's like
Before
all
it
of
can
his
grow
hair,
down,
and it's
yeah.
like, I need. I want pigtails.
Oh man.
Get a crazy gel budget every month.
Yeah.
Replayability. Are you guys going to play this game again?
I want to.
You want
Yeah.
to play this
I
game?
want to play through all the Shadow Wars.
Okay.
Get the true ending.
What do you give it out of 10?
Replayability, if life went the way it should go, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for replayability.
9 out of 10 for Cameron. Wow. Okay.
Well, since I actually finished the game, I'm gonna go back, but I'm just gonna go back because I'm really close to getting the platinum, and I might as well just do it. I'm probably gonna give replayability a. I'll probably give it a. Oh man, I'm teetering between 8 and 7. I'll give it a 7. The big reasons why I will come back to it, or at least I probably will come back to it. 1, because I have like 4 trophies left to get, and 2, because I think the online aspect does add decent replay value. I think it's fun to go through and knock out online fortresses, see if you can defeat friends, see if you can defeat other people who played the game, and I think it's cool to. Like upgrade your fortress and kind of see if you can defend yourself against the Talions of the world, you know?
Would you count... actually, I know what your answer is to this, Schweiss, but some people might say you already played past the campaign.
Some people might say you actually did put more time into it.
Some people are just wrong.
I mean, the time to beat definitely says you put more time into the game than what takes to.
I don't know that.
More.
So Schweiss says that the true ending is the end of chapter 4, as in like the ending that should count.
I'm not going to argue it's
for the hog
true
status,
ending.
which is one.
I would count it for Newthog, but I wouldn't count it for the game actually being done.
Chapter 4 or chapter 3?
Chapter 3. He's saying that for the hog list, it's okay, but for actually beating the game, then you actually have to beat the game. That's what he's saying.
Okay. All right. What do you guys give, or Craig? What do you give replayability?
I'd probably give it a 7 as well.
7.
When
It
Craig
has-
dislikes a game, he dislikes a game.
Okay, no, I have reasons for this. All right, so there is a lot of replay value in the game, especially where like the post game is the Shadow Wars, so you can replay those over and over again. There's the online aspect of being able to go into other people's shit, trying to
Disgusting.
yeah,
You're
trying
really
to
obsessed with that toilet seat thing, aren't you?
dude, it's fucking sweet. You should play that game. And trying to avenge people, and then especially with them like adding an update to where you can now, or it soon will be, allow you to play the Shadow Wars infinitely to allow for a lot of replay value. That it adds gameplay past where you beat the game, so that by itself adds quite a bit of replayability, along with trophies and stuff. But for me, the game is not that great. I did not have fun playing it. It was honestly boring to me, and the amount of dudes that I had to fight interfered with any fun that I would have had playing it as like a stealth game or as like an action game where there was just too many guys, where I ended up attacking like my own guys just as much as I was attacking the enemies. So it just wasn't that fun to me, so I personally won't, but I do see the replay value.
All right. What do you guys think overall? Is this a game worth playing?
Yes.
Only if you really like the first one and really like Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Cameron says yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's worth playing.
It's definitely worth a play. And so is the first one.
Is it worth $60?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, how much is it worth?
$15. That's what I paid.
$15 used?
No. I'd say
Didn't you pay 16 total for your rentage?
if
No,
you
it's
if you
15.
get it if you
Was
get
it
it on
15?
sale, I definitely do it. Even if it's just like a small markdown, it'd be more.
Yeah, I'd say it's worth it for about $30, probably 30, 35. I would have bought it if it was that.
Yeah. I'm just starting this renting kick just to save some money.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Gameplay.
These are the official scores for Nude Clan. In the story category, Caleb Schweiss gave it an 8, Cameron gave it a 7, Caleb Craig gave it a 6. In the gameplay category, Caleb Schweiss gave it a 9, Cameron gave it an 8, and Caleb Craig gave it a 6. In the sound/music category, Caleb Schweiss gave it a 9, Cameron gave it a 9, Caleb Craig gave it an 8. In the design category, Schweiss gave it a 9, Cameron gave it a 9, and Craig gave it a 9. In replayability, Schweiss gave it a 7, Cameron gave it a 9, and Caleb Craig gave it a 7. Schweiss's score is 42 out of 50. Cameron's score is 42 out of 50 as well, despite the scores being different in different categories. And Caleb Craig, 36 out of 50. With a total of 120 over 150, that is equal to 80 out of 100.
And the Metacritic score for the PS4 version of the game, 79, and the Xbox One, 81.
I don't know how we do this, guys.
Right
80 out of
there.
100.
I don't know how we do this. It always ends up being like right fucking there, and that's cool.
keep
not
us
Bounty
grounded
Hunter.
in
Bounty Hunter
reality.
was like 30 points below.
Oh, that's true.
And so was Parasite Eve 2. Parasite Eve 2
both
was,
of those deserve lower scores than they got.
yeah, I think the game is definitely worth your time, especially if you like the first one, like they mentioned. Nothing is
That should be
perfect
much
though,
lower. Schweiss gave it
and
high.
I think it is worth your time, and I think Caleb, I think you have to get to that ending, man. There's a heartfelt cutscene about the dude who died. Like it shows him during the credits, and they made like an in-game orc of the dude, and he's like fighting other orcs.
Spoilers.
It's a tearjerker, Craig.
Spoilers.
It's a tearjerker, and you fucking missed it because you're too proud.
That's not part of the fucking story, Schweiss.
It is. He's in there.
No, it's not.
He's canon.
No.
He's canon in Lord of the Rings now, that creator of the game. The one guy who worked on it who died.
In a separate version of Lord of the Rings.
No,
maybe.
he's in there.
Wow. All right, guys. 80 out of 100. Okay, so we still have a drawing to do for our Patreon donors. They want to pick through our games and get something out of it. We have all of our raffle tickets ready to go. It's basically $1 per, or one raffle ticket per dollar pledged. And we got numbers on these raffle tickets that correspond to a name of someone who helps support us through Patreon. Now, I've heard a lot of complaints about the new Patreon system. There is an article that I just retweeted the other day that talks about why they did what they're doing and
What exactly
how
is
it
going
works.
on? Because I've never had a single problem with
So
any
pledges
of
are now, they're the pledge plus a 35-cent fee every time for everyone.
it. So they pay 35
if they
cents?
pledge $1, I think always 35 cents goes to Patreon, plus the 5% that goes to Patreon. And then the rest goes to us. So they've changed the fee structure a little bit. I honestly think I agree with Patreon and what they've been doing based on the explanation from Patreon that I saw. But, you know, if that really bothers you...
But of course, there's always going to be
you.
people who are like, I should have more. So, you know. And if you want more, you can always just do a fucking PayPal.
You
And
can.
yeah, they have transaction fees, but guess what? Nothing is free in this world. Get over yourself. If you want money, get a real job. Do this on the side. Or
Yeah,
create your own fucking Patreon, your own platform, and shut the fuck up.
I'll take... Hey, if you got a better platform, I'll take it.
Yeah, but there isn't, so fuck you. But that doesn't mean we should just accept mediocrity. But it's upsetting when I see people like crying about fees and about things, and I'm like, yeah, like
Hey, we're grateful for
Just
every
things in
dollar. we
general.
exactly. That's the thing. Be grateful for what people give you. For
So you're
Christ's
you're
sake.
talking about creators right now.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
talking about creators who I've seen
He's talking about
crying
creators, yeah.
over this. Like
It's called e-begging.
Patreon
is
is just greedy. I'm like, oh, are they greedy? You're the one here pandering.
They're still
to
only taking 5%.
the fact that you're not getting more money.
Yeah, e-begging is no better than panhandling on the side of the street.
Yeah.
So,
The other were transaction costs, and it has to do with making it so that we get the same amount of money every time instead of a slight difference.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't know.
I haven't had a single problem though, and that's why I was like, "What is this thing?" Because I looked at it and I'm like on Twitter, and I'm like, "Okay, this is a thing. Like people are pissed about it, but like I've had like zero problems. I don't know what's going on. Like
it's because we actually have day jobs or doing this as something we just
maybe
like
that's
to do.
part of it. Yeah,
yeah, maybe we're not.
It's not as connected to
we're
our
not
lives.
like paying our bills with it right now. So okay.
Damn common sense.
Okay,
Getting in the
I
way.
have fully shuffled this damn thing.
Richard, use your voodoo right now.
Yeah, Richard, now's the time.
What are you doing? Knocking them out of the bowl?
You can get those back in there, you fuck.
back
One more. Get in there.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Okay. This is live over Twitch. You can see that there's different numbers here. I'm going to hold them up.
You're in the
for
black
you.
spot.
There's a number. There's a number 2.
Hold it up higher.
There's a number 7. Is that working?
Yeah, that's fine.
I can't tell. Hold on.
Well, it takes a sec, so you're good.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So I'm proving to the audience that there's not just one freaking number in here.
Are you going to let me choose? I guess I
will
haven't
let you
yet, have I?
choose.
No.
Jesus Christ. Oh, this is stressful, guys. I don't know if I can do it.
It's because you're not pure of heart.
I think the last time I drew Richard too, so I can't be.
He's won 3 times?
I
More.
did draw him twice.
What number is that?
It is a number 6, which...
Troy Kavanaugh.
Troy Kavanaugh. Congrats on winning the Nude Clan Patreon drawing for the month of December.
I think he's won twice, hasn't he? This is
No,
the second
he gave
time?
us a lot of shit, though. Free stuff.
I
Think,
hasn't he won at least once?
I don't fucking know.
We don't keep track.
I think he has.
But Troy, give us a tweet. Tell us what you want. I think we have a few games to add to the list, don't we? A few things that we don't need anymore. How many copies of Persona, or not Persona, of
My copy of Persona's already gone, right?
Nier Automata? Yeah, well, yes-ish. How many copies
You
of
haven't
Nier?
put it in the mail yet?
Well, I have. It just got sent back to me. How many copies of Nier do we still have?
I have one.
Craig, do you have yours?
I didn't.
Did I end
buy
up
it.
buying Nier? If I bought it, then I still have it. It's a great game, though. No, did I? I can't remember.
I
I'll
didn't
have to
buy
check.
it.
Do you want to keep your Nier, Joe?
No, they can take it if they
Okay,
want.
so we at least have Nier, and then whatever is on the list on the website. So go check it out. Give us a tweet. Let us know what you want. I'm going to go through that list and see if there's anything else we need to add to it, because I might have picked up a couple
We
things.
take
that
the
I-
games out that we've already given away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And take ones out. So yeah, hit us up. Let us know what you want to do. And
Yeah.
thank you all for your generous patronage. We would never cry about what you guys are giving us. It's very nice of you. Very kind.
Yes.
You're wonderful people.
And wonderful people. So we appreciate that. Guys, if you want to support the show, Patreon through nudeclan.net. There's a nice link there. Or you can just go to Patreon and search for Nude Clan. You can also, if you want to support the show other ways, one way that doesn't cost you anything when you're buying stuff on Amazon, click through that there Amazon link on Nude Clan, bookmark that as your Amazon homepage, and every time you go there, we get a little kickback for the show, and we really appreciate that as well. There's also a straight-up PayPal link if you want to donate there. If you want to subscribe to our Twitch channel, that also helps a lot.
Yeah, if you got Amazon Prime, you should totally do it.
Yes.
It's free. Doesn't
So our Twitch is twitch.tv/NudeClanGaming. We usually stream the episodes live, like we're doing right now. And sometimes we stream a little bonus content.
Sometimes we have like an hour of just making coffee and getting ready for the episode.
Sometimes Cameron decides to do a 2.5 hour streams where Joe bitches at him for a little bit, but you know.
Yeah. What?
Remember how last time? Where's the
yeah.
write up, Cameron?
Yeah, because Cameron. So there's 3 things that need to be done every time a Nude Clan episode is released. 1, the audio needs to be mixed and compressed so that it's nice and loud for people who work in loud environments. And people complain about how loud the show is, like 2 people have, and
That's just
Oh, I
fucking
played
bad.
Ghost
Sorry,
Recon
you can
Wildlands.
turn it
I forgot
down.
to say that.
Turn it down.
The second thing that we do is we gotta post it through Libsyn and kind of get it ready to go. And in that process, there's a little write up that we would like to have happening.
Yeah.
Cameron has decided to take over from grammatical error Schweiss and take over the write up thing, but he doesn't do the publishing. So
Yeah.
there was quite a delay last time, and it was driving me absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And then there was even more of a delay because it turned out in the end it was not uploaded to Libsyn, and my internet was too slow, so Google Drive would not let me download episodes that were put onto Google Drive. So I was having a hell of a Sunday, and so that's why Nude Clan was a day late. Anyway, yeah, get that write-up going, Cameron.
Well, this should be easier since I kind of planned the episode.
Since you kind of planned the episode. I appreciate that. Well, anyways, guys, I'm glad we got to talk about video games today. Does anybody want to talk about anything else?
No, I think I got everything out of my system.
Okay.
I did some more work on the PC I bought from Craig. I got some thermal paste from online. I got some denatured alcohol, and I went to town on the fucking cake that was on top of that processor in the bottom of that cooler.
Did you get it out of there?
I did. I took it out. I cleaned the pins on the fucking processor, cleaned out the board a little bit, let it dry for the 24 hours, put it all back together real lovingly, and turns on, but still won't fucking boot. So the processor might be donesies.
Did you?
The echoes are gone out of the processor.
The echoes are gone.
It could be the motherboard. Oh shit! That means I wasted all the money I bought.
No, you have that stuff now, unless you threw it out. As soon
No,
as
I
we're
still have it
done.
all.
Yeah,
No.
you can just put that in a closet and be like, next time I need to clean up
I might
thermal
just need
paste.
to buy I just need
Get that.
see it doesn't. I need something like a test bench where I can test each component individually. It's just there's no reason to have a test bench unless you do IT stuff all the time. So
Okay.
there's no way for me to test to see what's broken without going to like Best Buy and have them pay them to do it. So
Oh.
because I don't know what is the actual broken component at this point. I have some assumptions as to what's broken, but
Okay. All right. Doug, my old drummer from Sugarstone back in the day, wants to get the band back together.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna do it, Joe.
He said he wants to be a music producer and he wants to take our old songs, mess with them, and maybe write some new stuff and make an album out of it. I was like, okay, I'm in. Sure, that sounds like fun. Not going to take it like I'm going to be a rock star mode like it was at 19. It's just going to be another little side project for the year 2018.
You know what I think we should do? I was thinking about this while I was listening to the Black Album for like the 30th time this week.
Because it's great.
Yeah, mostly because I just forgot to grab Master of Puppets, which is easily better. But it's a great one, though, and that's why I grabbed
That
it.
hurts me. Okay.
But what I was thinking is we need to do a full album discography remake where it's Megadeth singing Metallica songs.
Why?
Because it's going to be awesome.
No.
I'm you.
Sad but true.
Yeah, sad but true. And then like the solo, like just a breakdown solo out of nowhere right after that.
There's a guy on the forums who thought that you were me, by the way, on UFF.
Yeah, no, I have a better... Okay, look. Dave doesn't sound anything like Singing Dave when he talks. He just kind of sounds like this.
Yeah.
But I think my talk Dave Mustaine is the ultimate.
I don't know, guys.
I can't sing though, so that part is not the case. But
I don't know who.
Jake, it is Arctic Silver is what I.
Who is
got.
better at the Dave Mustaine?
Hello, I think we've had this discussion before, and I do think that I went with Joe.
way of life. My dark black past.
This is mine.
Most valued possession.
Hindsight is always 20/20, but looking back, it's still a bit fuzzy. Speak of make your life short, you stuck it.
nice story. I don't know, man. I think for the singing, definitely Joe. but-
Anxiety is checking me and my ear is getting
Well, considering
thin.
it's like a singing
I'm in
voice.
trouble for all the things I haven't got to yet.
Anyway,
Wendy, you can tweet at me and I'll go through all the steps.
the steps.
Yeah,
she's giving me what I should do to test out.
Roxo's been
what could
all
be
over
broken.
me about a music review show from you and I.
A music
Are you
review
kidding me?
show.
Yeah.
My music, I used to have a wide variety, and sometimes I still go to a wide variety, but I really just
No, it's just Metallica,
it's just
Megadeth,
Metallica
and Jewel.
Megadeth and Jewel.
Okay, you know, I've been having difficulty because I've been wanting to expand my thrash metal horizons, and it's hard to do that. You try
I
to
listened
put
to Anthrax for 4 hours.
You
the other
try
day.
you try to put like
Anthrax
your Pandora.
sucks.
You
Just
try
don't
to
listen
try
to
to
them.
put the seeds in your Pandora radio station, see what comes out. But this week has been spot on Spotify with my daily mix of having me go through Sepultura, Testament, have some other newer stuff coming in
Metal
and out.
Mountain,
Yeah,
Tombstone
Testament,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Exodus,
Yeah,
both
Exodus.
better,
Some
both-
Static X came through too, which just reminds me of a harder Corn.
Okay.
It is just new metal, I guess.
And anyways, my Spotify daily mix has been getting me
It's a
through
less
the week.
messy Korn as well.
Yeah.
It's very...
Didn't they do like where the guy from Korn did sing on a Static X track?
Yeah, I think they've done some work together.
Okay, that makes sense. Their sound is similar enough. So
I don't think it's that similar. That's interesting hearing that from you.
Similar enough is what I'm saying.
Okay.
They have certain aspects that come over. A little Rob Zombie in there too, with some Dragula. I've been having.
See,
it's been good at
the
work.
day that you were talking about Spotify was the day I was on the Google Play Megadeth channel, and that's the day I listened to like 5 Testament songs, and I went, they're trying to be like every other band but themselves.
I think
There's songs from Testament that sound like Slayer. There's songs from Testament that sound like Megadeth. There's songs from Testament that sound like Metallica.
They are a good in between for
And
listening to
that's
the
all
songs.
they are, though.
I know.
They are all just... Exodus has its own sound.
It's a
Testament
great.
does not sound like any
you got to
band.
listen to a.
Well, it sounds
you got to listen to a
sounds
good.
like every band but its own.
You got to
band.
sound like a good mediocre song that sounds like Metallica. So when you
It's
get
like,
to the
this
Metallica
sounds like
song, it sounds
Metallica, but
better.
not quite as good?
But then when you switch to the Metallica song right after, it sounds so much better, and it's your enjoyment goes up.
Yeah.
From there.
That's
so
how I feel about
I don't know.
Testament.
I still think Testament's better.
It's better than Anthrax for sure.
Anthrax, but
I listened to the top played songs from Anthrax a couple times in a row because I was like, I want to like them.
Oh, a little Meshuggah
Just
in there
because
too.
they are in the
Meshuggah.
big 4. I want to like them.
it's the big 3.
It's kind of like
Let's be
how I
real.
feel about Soundgarden and the big 4 of grunge.
Yeah, whenever
I
we
want to
saw-
like
I think
them.
you mispronounced.
I like Soundgarden.
Every time Anthrax comes along with another band, they
Pearl
play
Jam.
for like 20 minutes in front of the other band. They're like a pre-show.
Yeah, and everyone's just talking.
I'm
Yeah.
still saying I still like the song Caught in a Mosh. I like that song. Okay. I like the Indian song up to the chorus, which I don't
it's pretty
like.
dumb.
And then I like that song that they did with the rap artists. The one that was on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 soundtrack. Yeah, boy. How low can you go? Yeah, boy.
Well, yeah,
Once you
that's a
get
good
back
song.
to- yeah. I like that. And they have another rap song that they did themselves that was pretty enjoyable. But
So they're just a bad metal band. That's the
Their
problem.
metal rap is fun, but not their.
But it's no Rage Against the Machine fun. Though.
I'm just not. Yeah, I don't. Here's what I've realized: his voice is not bad because he's actually like. I could tell he's like a trained singer, and he would sound like Iron Maiden, but the production of the recordings is off in some way. Like the instruments are way down and he is way up, and they also gave him a lot of reverb. And I'm thinking that may be the problem
Whenever
with Anthrax.
there's heavy reverb, I tend to turn it right off.
It just sounds like he's in an echo chamber and the rest of the band is somewhere else, and they smashed them together.
It's just too stylized, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Oh, Jake brings up Madhouse. That's a good song by them.
It's a madhouse. That's one of the songs that sounds weird.
It's on. It's in that Grand Theft Auto Vice City stories, or no, Vice City. But then again, also is Peace Cells. So Peace Cells is just way better. Fucking great. But yeah, no, I don't consider it the big 4 anymore. it's the big 3.
It's the big 3.
And then
Big 3
sometimes
plus 1.
And then sometimes I say big 3 and Anthrax. But that
big-
kind of highlights Anthrax. So I don't know
the
if I
big
like
3 and a
doing that anymore.
half.
Yeah,
The big 3 and 20 minutes of Anthrax.
yeah. It's kind of sad. Like it. I just
That's
can't
East,
do it.
That's East Coast thrash for you. There's a little
A little off.
off.
A little subpar. Yeah, I don't think I don't own a single one of their albums, and I don't think I want to.
No, I don't. Every time
I don't know.
people
I'm gonna
show
try
up
to
late,
get into it.
people show up late to concerts where it's so if you show up early to a concert where Anthrax is opening, you're gonna get a good parking spot because everyone shows up late to that.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
no
know
one
what's
wants to
funny?
listen
Then
to
when we went to the 3,
Yeah,
that's how it was. We got up there
waltzed
late,
right in.
and
We got right through it, man.
Cotton and Mosh was cool, but yeah, that's about it. I've seen them like 4 times.
Yeah.
Dude. That's the sad part. And I'm like, man,
And you don't
I still
really
just don't
you
care.
have to think. You know, like you've seen them 4 times, and you still have to think. Hey, what? I don't know. Caught in the mosh, and I don't know what else. Yeah,
I'm
you just don't
like,
know.
yeah, there's the one Scotty and guy. Yeah, he's cool.
You have the one Anthrax guy too, just with the fucking huge armpit cutout sleeve things, and with the Anthrax shirt, and he's like up in the front for them. That's it.
Yeah.
The one dude representing.
Yeah, the one
Anthrax.
guy who's like, I'm here for Anthrax, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you. Like Megadeth is way better than Anthrax,
Oh, yeah.
buddy. So fuck you.
Was
and
it
your
Slayer
little
in that
Anthrax.
concert?
Yeah, it was Slayer.
Slayer,
Megadeth.
Megadeth.
Man,
and
I wish
Anthrax.
I went to
It was a
that.
good one. It was definitely a good
Although
one.
I'm still scared of going to Slayer concerts.
Yeah, that's
Someday I
fine.
will.
You should be afraid of the mosh.
You
It's
should be like
insanity.
Cody and hang out at the back wall.
On Slayer, I might do that. I don't love the mosh pit.
I did watch a guy break his wrist in that mosh pit.
I heard
so.
the wrist break, which is scary because I was in a concert. It was just. It's like, oh,
Basically, he could touch the bottom of his forearm with his hand all of a sudden.
yeah, it was destroyed. He was not happy. I think he had like a high pitched
Would you be happy if you fucking break
But
your
the way
wrist?
those bouncer security guards got through the mosh pit to the guy, don't mess with those guys. Those guys can destroy a mosh pit and break it up immediately. Like, I don't know how they do
They're
that.
trained in mosh pit
I go into a
breakup.
mosh pit and I'm doing all I can do to stay upright. And these guys just destroyed the mosh pit. And
Dude,
brought
These
the
guys
guy up.
make like riot police look like bitches.
They do. That's
don't
no
need
other
a
way to
shield.
explain it. They
I don't need a
fucking
shield to fuck
dominated
you
that
up.
mosh
Shields
pit.
are for pussies.
Yeah. He just grabs
Oh,
a
man.
dude from the crowd.
This guy get fucked.
Yeah. Music review show. I can't add another podcast. I'm not adding another podcast until both Godzilla and UFF are done. Until they're done.
You're going to sit that Game of Thrones podcast out, huh?
I don't think he ever wanted to be
don't
part
know.
of it.
I don't know if we
He does.
should venture there.
Why?
I don't know, man. It just seems like a rocky territory.
We still got like a year before we even
Well, we
get
have to.
initiated.
Well, there are 67 episodes of the show, so we got to. If we do
7 weeks.
If we do one a week, we have 67 weeks of recording this Game of Thrones podcast.
And we're going to have copious amounts of bend the knee while we're reviewing.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
copious amounts.
Copious.
That means you got to buy a copious
The
amounts.
bend the knee was rough, and I was already drunk when I drank it, so I don't know how it actually tastes.
We gotta break into that.
I did break into it though, so the finale is hazy-ish, but I pretty much know what happened. It's crazy. I can't talk about it though, because some people, one refuses and one just hasn't.
I just haven't. I'm sorry.
No, actually, no. Craig just was victimized.
Things will be turned around.
victimized.
I will be back to being deathly poor, but I will own a car.
and you will have thrones.
That's going to be the difference next year. I'm going to have a lot of time. I'm going to own a car, and I'm not going to have any money. Right now, I have a lot of money, no time.
And no car.
No car.
That's how things go.
Gotta have a sweet FedEx van.
So I'm getting ready for that. What's your current cupboard under the stairs rate?
It was 200 is what I said.
200?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The market has
I
spoken.
get a full room for 400.
Well, get a full room then.
I mostly just wanted to
The
bar
kid
you
is
out of the
paying
consideration.
$200 a month to store his toys in there.
Guy's got a good paying job.
Okay, fine.
Bottle factory.
It was mostly
On
$200
top of the
to
400 or
for
whatever
him to
for
put
the
up with an
renting of the
overcrowded
room.
house.
That's right.
It was $200 to cover utilities and to put up with someone being
Well, I
in
think
his
that
house.
kid probably, it just is like 3 people. As far
Noise
as like
wise,
amount of what he touches, what he affects. No?
so me and Dwayne.
I don't know. I'm never here.
Me
so-
and, me and Dwayne versus kid.
Well, it's less hectic with him because you had like your dresser and like all this shit everywhere.
I had stuff that needed to go somewhere. So yeah.
Okay.
Dwayne didn't, I guess.
I guess I'm misreading the situation completely.
Mostly just Cameron.
It was
It
an
was a
awkward
lot.
place.
We had like a ton of shit just everywhere, and it was like just tight.
Yeah.
Just,
tight,
So tight.
overpacked.
Toy, like a toiger.
So tight. All right. We should probably end this thing. Appreciate you guys for listening. Sorry I didn't finish the game.
Sorry, I didn't play.
You
the
didn't even
game.
start the game. So
I didn't finish it as well.
That is true, though. Just like
how can you finish it if you don't even start it?
What's that joke? It's like I used to do drugs. I still do,
But I also used to.
but I used to too. I love that joke.
Wasn't that? Oh shit! I know.
It's
that guy.
Mitch. Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's great.
He is pretty funny.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week.
Enjoy the nude.
May the list go on.
Live always in the nude.
Fuck off.
Quarter.
I think he owes several quarters this time.
Now he's avoided it. Oh, wait, this episode? Oh, yeah.